I'll tell you what happened.
Twitter locked me out of my fucking account, so I had to reset my password. And then I turn on the goddamn computer, and for whatever fucking reason, my mic's not working.
It's Windows 10. Windows 10. Do you have a Windows 10 machine?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know why.
How's my audio? Am I coming a little hot, or are you?
You sound fine to me. Am I too hot?
You're a little hot. You're a little hot. I don't know if you want to turn your gain down or what.
Okay. Let's see here. How's that? Is that better?
It's a little better. Yeah, I mean, I'll just turn my volume down. No, life. You know how we have this theory that we're not atheists, nor are we necessarily agnostics. We do believe there's a God out there, but we are both firmly in the camp that he's a prick. He's not outright evil, but he's just a cock. I mean, we're kind of in it, like he likes to fuck with people, right?
He's a big, giant penis.
He's a big, giant, yes. And I think today, it was just you and I having these audio troubles and then Twitter kicking you out. I'm like, yeah, he's there. This is a sign from God that he's there, and he's just shoving his finger up our ass. And the day has been just like this, where life has been giving me blue balls the entire fucking time, where we're so close to attaining achievement, and then there's this little thing that'll prevent it. Like, we're only no, the audio don't work, or this I finally get, no, the toilet doesn't flush. And it's been like that the entire fucking day, where I'm almost there. I'm almost going to get laid. And then the girl squirms, or she hinges her bra back up. And it's like the 9th grade all over again. You know, it's just fuck it. It's just fuck it.
Yeah. I even tried to get is my audio fine still?
It's fine now. Yep.
Okay. I'm trying something a little different with the mics here too. Cause I really liked the last time I was on with you. You sounded great. And I sounded like I was in, I don't know, a porta potty or something. So I'm trying something a little different this time.
Who knows what it is? Who knows?
But I just got back from work a half an hour ago, not even a half an hour ago. So I had to quick make myself a sandwich. I made myself a sandwich.
What? Right? Where's Mrs. DT? What the fuck?
Mrs. DT, the kids were not home, are still not home. They're not back yet from their little thing that they needed to attend. And so I'm making myself a sandwich. I'm trying to start the fire, so the fire is going for tonight, and it's not starting that great. And
see, then God's out to get us. He's out to get us. He's blue balling us, man.
I rush in here to get the computer going because I know, I better check Task Manager now, because I know what happens every time. No, it's good. It's good for now. But I wanted to get the computer going and get everything going. I look at the clock. It's 7 o'clock. I'm like, shit, Aaron's going to be pissed. He said 7 DST.
I've learned. Hey, you'd be proud of me, man. I came up with an epiphany one day where I had to hike. I had to lift weights. I had to do this stupid Fitbit competition against Atham and Marcus. Then I had to write it out. And I just realized, like, for the past 2 years, I've just been not miserable, but certainly not happy. You know, it is like the amount of tasks I have taken on, and I was faced with this choice. Do I finish this post I've been meaning to write for like 3 weeks and been procrastinating, or do I go out and enjoy the freaking day? And it dawned on me that if I keep going this way, I'll never be happy. Like, I have this great, truly flexible life, but I have such high standards of performance that I never actually get to enjoy the relaxation.
Right.
And so I made a executive policy decision. I'm doing shit that I want to do. I don't care if that lowers my production by 10%. I only get 90% done. But if I feel like hiking, I'll go hike. If I feel like doing this, I'll go do that. If I don't feel like I'm not going to write. And today I didn't feel like going to the gym. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do some walking, get the treadmill in. And I felt like lifting weights. So then I lifted some weights. But I have learned to let go a lot. And I'm really trying not to give a fuck anymore. Not that I'm going to go off the deep end and join a hippie commune or start doing pot, but I'm not letting things like that get to me. Because let me ask you this.
Well, it's got to be tough for you. I mean, I'll just comment on what you've said. Because ever since I've known you, you're kind of a go type of guy, right?
Right.
And I'm kind of I just want to hang out. come watch a movie or whatever. That's me. I'm almost too even keel, laid back, and you're very let's go. And so yeah, a mix between us two is probably the happy medium. It's probably the golden mean of yeah. I think
or amplitude or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I think you sort of obsess about being productive and getting shit done and things like that. And I love to get shit done too, but I've got to have me time as well. I've got to have that downtime. I've got to have that relaxation time. So yeah, I think if we hang out more in South Dakota, yeah, I will show you the ways of DT.
I've
relaxing, baby.
I have. Well, that's the thing is it's intense in both capacities. Like if I'm working, but that if I'm having fun, I'm having fun. I mean, it is like balls to the wall to the point that it's like, okay, I'm going to do a 25-mile hike. That's not exactly relaxing.
No, it's not.
You know, there's no sitting in. And what I've realized is, yes, I can condense all the work into some intense 8-hour pieces of labor, freeing up 16 hours to go ride a motorcycle. But no one in the real world is at either of those extremes. Either in enjoying life to the extreme or working to the extreme. Nobody's there. And then exactly. when it comes to interacting with people or doing that, I just got to realize no one's going to operate at my speed. No one.
Right.
And I've just kind of accepted, and instead of fighting it, which is the insanity, like, why the fuck aren't you people doing this? Like I was looking at the GF one time. I'm like, we really ought to do X. And what I gotta say is I want you to do X right fucking now and don't ask me any questions. And,
that's your expectation, yeah.
That's my expectation.
Otherwise you're gonna be disappointed. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll sit and brew. I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta remember? Like, no, I gotta say, dear, do activity X now. And you know, not like, yeah, we really ought to do that. Because when someone says, hey Aaron, we really ought to do this, I'll say, yeah, we really ought to do that. And I'm on it and it's done.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Aaron's not the type of a guy that goes the standard, oh, we should get together sometime. And then you never get together. I mean, everybody knows what I'm talking about. You included, probably, Aaron, but I don't know that you've probably never said that. You know, it's like you're in conversation and it's okay. And the person you're talking to is okay. And you say, yeah, we should get together sometime. And you don't ever intend to get together. Mm-hmm. You just kind of are saying it just to, I don't know, make that person feel good or make I've
never said that. I don't want to say dishonestly or to make somebody feel better with false intentions. So I say, yeah, we should get together. That means to me, yes, we should get together.
We should get together. Yeah. And I never say it maliciously or falsely. I think a lot of people in conversation are like, yeah, we should get together. And then life gets in the way and you just kind of, I'd rather sit in the basement and watch Netflix.
See, but that's what I don't get is I'm all about compressing time. And one of these days I will write a book about the economics of time, and time travel is not possible. But if you look at the purpose and value, the main reason to live, in my estimation anyway, is to have the maximum amount of highest percentage of your life spent doing what you want, your free time, to maximize the amount of free time that you have. And once you figure out this, seconds don't really matter anymore. It's how much work can I get done per seconds or per unit of time, so that frees up more time. So it's like warping or condensing all your chores, all the work you have to do, all the chores, the work, the labor, the toil. If you get it done now, or you compress it into the first 2 days of the work week and you're done, that then frees up the rest of your time to be free and do what you want. Most people will amortize that out over a 40-hour work week, over 5 days. There'll be a lot of stops and trips to the water cooler. I'm going to get coffee. Oh, let's talk to Bob over in accounting. Oh, let's go for an hour and a half lunch. I'm like, what the fucking hell is wrong with you people? Get it done now. And then you got a 6-day weekend or a 5-day week. And I know everyone wants you to come in. Employers want you to come in 5 days a week, but even in your home chores and, like, I got the oil changed in the truck. I got the oil changed on a motorcycle. The plumber's coming in on for the toilet because I tried to snake it. It didn't work. There's something wrong with the pressure regulator. It's get this all done now. So not only do you have free time and a maximum amount of it until the next round of work inevitably shows up at your doorstep and in your email box, but there's an efficiency and economies to scale. Like, what can you really do with a weekday or with a weekend? 2 days. All right. Saturday, you got to recoup from all the work, or maybe you drink yourself silly. Sunday, okay, maybe you get some afternoon chores done, and then you just rest up again because you got to go back to work.
Yeah, ever since I went back to work 5 days a week and only having the 2-day weekend, they just go by way too fast. Mm-hmm. I'm in the stage now where every day of the week I wake up and I'm like, oh, okay. Like today I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday. I only have to wake up 3 more times. that's how. And so it is sort of that what's the song? Everybody's working for the weekend or whatever. And it's true, but you're right. I think people are running at about 50% tops at work.
Tops.
Maybe not even 50. It could be 25%. And yeah, they're just filling the time because we're paid per hour. It's a 40-hour work week or whatever. Mm-hmm. And they need that money. I need to make money. So basically, I think most people are basically filling time until they die. That's basically what they do.
That really is what it is. Yeah. What was it? Tim Ferriss that wrote the 4-hour work week?
I don't know, but I would say 4-hour work or 4 hour or 4 day.
No, 4-hour work week.
Oh, 4 hour.
Yeah. I think that's the title.
I don't know if you could get it all done in 4 hours.
I think you absolutely could. And I think because people keep the irony or the paradox. Hey, have you read this? This guy's just like you. It's like, why would I read a guy that's just like me? I'm fully cognizant and aware of me and my philosophies. The last thing I want to read is a guy who thinks exactly like me. It's like, I would rather be doing something else. But I think this guy, this is the one that went on all these escapades, and maybe somebody in the chat room can elaborate, but he became like the Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion, although it was kind of a underhanded way. And he did this and he did that. And I think his book is called The 4-Hour Work Week. And 4 hours, maybe you need 8, but I could probably, if I wanted to, if I didn't want to save up adequate funds for retirement and, err on the side of caution or buy property overseas, I could easily get by on an 8-hour work week, get it all done in one day, pack it in, and then just have the remaining 6 days off, because it's definitely possible. And of course, it requires self-employment. It requires a job.
Yeah, you can't have other people messing that up, because there's no way you could get done what you need to get done in 4 hours a week if you're working with other people. Because
I'd kill them.
It just can't. They would have to join you in that efficiency of getting shit done as quick as you can. And it just, if you got to bring other people along and you got to get buy-in from people and get to have your boss say, yep, looks good, and get reviewed and get quality control and all that kind of stuff, 4 hours just isn't going to cut it. But I will say that when I was working 20 hours a week, that was perfect. That was perfect. 5 hours a day, 5 hours a day for 4 days. Mm-hmm. I was hugely productive. I saved the company a bunch of money, actually.
Oh, I bet.
And because I was there, when I was there to work. I wasn't fucking around. Mm-hmm. And so, I bet you, that's why I said 50% tops is, 20 hours a week tops. That's what people need to actually get their work done. The rest of it is fucking around. And why would you want to fuck around at work with people that, what? Be home with your family. Putz around on your house. Fix shit.
You're starting to think like everyone's like you or me. For God's sake, they're all a bunch of inferior pieces of ordinary normie conformie shit. Right. These people, especially the younger generations, they think work is life. They think that is their family. Yeah. I mean, so, and you're assuming What was your IQ? 140 something? Not to keep going back to the IQ thing, but we got to remind ourselves that everybody here listen.
That shows my IQ. I can't remember what it was. I know it's high, but I don't really care, I guess, about the number.
No, I'm not saying it's an issue of like pride or accomplishment. What I'm saying is people with a high IQ can get their shit done. There wasn't one job I ever worked in my entire profession in banking where I couldn't have done all my work in 2 hours a day. Not one. Right. Even in busy season, it was only 2 hours a day. And that was at the tops. You know, that was tops. Normal people, they don't get it done as quick. Normal people also are simply distracted. They cannot set aside their desire to be entertained or distracted to really focus and hone on work.
Right.
You know, those days back in college where it's like, man, I got a final coming up and you just cram. Most normies, most people are not capable of cramming. Now they can still get their work done, I'd say, in 4 hours a day, no doubt. But the smarter that you are, and if you could just fucking focus and pay attention, you could easily, most people could get their jobs done in about 2 to 3 hours a day.
I've had to really step back and just kind of, okay, if this is how it's going to work here, this is how it's going to work. And all I can say is that I work for a government agency, and it's everything you think it is. It's if you think the private sector is bad, oh my God, government. I was just in a meeting this morning, and one of my coworkers comes up to me and says, "Are you going to this meeting?" And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't planning on it." And she's like, "Well, you probably should go because blah 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 reasons." So I go to the meeting, and the room, it's like a double room full of people. And I don't know what 80% of them are there for. It's like, is this really the most efficient way to go about this process, is having this meeting where everybody's blocked out, you know, an hour or two of time to sit in this meeting and just sit there?
What, did you even have to go to the meeting in the end, or was it a complete
I think I could have got the information in about 5 minutes, maybe, with a phone call or something like that.
A memo, a detailed email.
Yeah, it's just it's everything. It's everything and worse, I guess, than I thought it would be. And I mean, the people are okay. I mean, pretty much everywhere you go, I mean, people are okay. I mean, they're not necessarily evil. They're not necessarily good. They're just kind of, like you say, normies, right? They're sort of trying their best. They're sort of gaming the system. They sort of have the right perspective. They sort of don't. They're just kind of
sheep,
right? MEH.
They're lumber. They're commodities.
Yeah. And there's the few that really kick ass, that make everything run. And then there's everybody else that just kind of is along for the ride. And you wonder, I mean, I don't know what the estimate is for the private sector on what it takes, or how many people are actually making the company run. I think it's 20%.
About
what's the best estimate, that the people that are like irreplaceable, they're the ones that make it happen, and everything else is just kind of make work. Government, I think, would be worse than that. Maybe half of that, maybe 10%.
I think the government the mandate of government is different than a mandate of a for-profit corporation or the private sector. So I would say the people themselves are not much different, because you're pulling from the same labor pool. Unless I could see where your government, we're going to do total affirmative action. Okay, now you're pulling, oh, you're not qualified, but you have the right colored skin or the right colored plumbing, or you imagine that you're a Bulbasaur sexual. Okay,
There's
come
plenty
on.
Of that. There's
right.
Plenty of that.
So you got the circus, and those guys are so you can write that off. But I'd say the remainder of the labor pool is just as productive as the private sector. The problem is that government, I'd say, it come in from management or the deputy secretary or whatever. Those people at the top, there's no hustle, there's no top-down efficiency. Like, we got to get this product out by this time. And heck, we've known other people to work in the government, and heck, we knew a guy where they had meetings about meetings. He actually had meetings about meetings. Yeah. And he just sat there. He's like, nope, playing on my phone. Don't care.
Well, I heard somebody put it correctly, I think, and I never really thought about it this way, is that government has a vested interest in making sure there's lots of employees because the employees contribute to the pension system. And so there you go. You know,
Well,
or you need a certain amount of people underneath you to move up into managerial positions. And
state and local, I could see that. The federal government, they just print off more money.
right.
That's really what they do.
Well, they probably think that they can't do that. You know, they're like, well, we need to have a lot of people contributing so that we can. So that I think they want to keep the Ponzi going.
Maybe at the highest echelons of government, there might be someone that couth about economics and finance to think that, but your average person, heck, not even your regular good employee doesn't know about underfunded pensions. They really don't think. I don't think they.
Well, they don't want to. If they look into it, probably scares the shit out of them.
Right, but I don't think most people understand pension financing to begin with. You know, what is it? Projected benefit obligation, verified benefit obligation, and was it PBO, VBO, ABO? Actual, it's something. It's so long since I took that in class.
I mean, Jimmy Stewart talked about fractional reserve banking and It's a Wonderful Life, and that sort of applies to pensions and everything. That, you know, I think a lot of people, Social Security, a lot of people think, well, I'm putting my money into it and I deserve to get it back. Well, no, your money immediately goes out. In the pension system, your money immediately goes out. It's not sitting somewhere in an account. And in fact, when my mom died, my dad was a government employee. And so when they got divorced, she got a part of his pension. Mm-hmm. And they just figure it out. They just, well, this is what the cash value is. Here you go. And I'm like, well, can I see some calculations or something? Mm-hmm. Nope. This is what it is. There's no transparency at all with that shit.
I know a guy who worked for the teacher union, or he didn't work for the union. He was a teacher and they had to contribute to the teacher, blah, blah, blah. So in this particular state or county or whatever, like it was mandated, something like 8 or 10% of your money had to go to the union pension. And then when he quit, oh no, you can't get it. But there's like this cash out thing, and they made it hell for this guy to get his cash out option. And really? When he finally got it, I think it was less than what he actually contributed. Like there had been no growth. I'm like, fuck you, teachers. Fuck you, teachers, and all your fucking things. And you think you're just going to get your pension. And oh, it's so hard being a teacher. I was just like, I love it. I love it when the left eats their own. Like when the slightly bigger liberal eats the littler liberal. I just love that.
There was a hole in the piggy bank. That's what there was a hole. It fell out.
When Hillary eats Bernie, when the Democrat National Committee eats the rest of the Democrat voters, I love it. You guys just like get screwed. It's great.
But back to me to kind of letting go, and that kind of springboards off what you were just saying there, is that you do have to kind of in the position where I'm in, it's like I'm trying to be productive. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm trying to say, hey, you need some help here. You need some help there. But at some point you go, okay, I've done my due diligence in trying to be productive. Mm-hmm. I'm going to fucking read Nietzsche now. You know, I mean, it's like, you know, you can't fight it. It's kind of a when in Rome thing, right? It's sort of an enjoy the decline thing. It's sort of a why are you trying to be something that you can't be in this scenario or in this job, in this country, in this society, whatever. You're not going to be allowed to be that, because like you were just saying before, you want to, hey, let's go do something. And people are like, not really. I don't really want to.
This is
you can't force it. You got to let go. Yeah.
This is a very important lesson. I mean, this is the Older Brother podcast, and this would be a very important lesson to any younger brothers or sisters listening. And I don't know about UDT, but when I was a kid, you know, how old are you in the 7th grade? 12, 13?
13 yeah, I don't know. The math is hard.
Okay. So I think I was 12 or 13. I was working my first job, and it was at a landscaping greenhouse place where we're putting in, it was like an assembly line. You're just pushing these trays of pots through a manure mixer that would mix the right amount of manure and mud and gravel and styrofoam to make geraniums or poinsettias or whatever. And it was physically demanding, laborious work, but it was factory. It was production. It was an actual assembly line. And the 8-hour workday and the concept of shifts make complete and total sense.
Yes.
When you're in a production-like environment. Okay, we're going to have, labor can work 8 hours a day. We got to queue up the machinery. We got to set it all up. And then, okay, let's run a bunch of batch. And so there is enough work. Technically, there's unlimited work, but you do it in batches of 8 hours. So when I was working as a kid, you are always working. If you're not working, you're sloughing off because you're not filling the pots with the right seeds or the right dirt or whatever. You're not putting enough cups in the tray and so forth. And then when I went to work in services, specifically banking, I was under the and security was kind of the same thing. It's like you got patrol. There was always work to do. Then when you get to an office setting where it's a service, you can only do as much work as much as your boss gives you, and you have all the tools and information to do it.
Right.
And what a lot of you youngins out there are going to realize, or already, maybe you have a great work ethic and you feel bad because there's no work to do, or you've ran into a bottleneck, or you don't have the resources to do it, or you're waiting on Bob from accounting to get the information you need. You got to realize that the service world is not that efficient. It is waiting on people. And what's the number one cause of all villainy, evil, stupidity, and things that have gone wrong in the world, DT?
I'm guessing. That's a wild ass.
What do I hate the most yet love the most?
A wild ass guess. It's people.
People. Fucking people.
Humans. Human beings.
Human beings.
Not human doings.
They're human sittings. They're human existings. It's just all they do. And what you're going to find out is in services, you gotta let that go. Like if you're not going to be occupied, if you're going to be, and again, not kissing everybody's ass here, but if you're listening to this show, you're probably smarter than the average bear. You can expect to actually be working no more than a third of the hours you're supposed to be. And the rest of it is waiting for Amy and inventory to get you this. The rest is waiting for your boss to give you the go ahead for that. I even remember some of my bosses say, "We don't want you selling any loans or going out into the public just yet. Just hold on." I'm like, okay. And then they never got back to me for the remaining 8 months. And you just got to realize that these people are just as dumb, if not dumber than you are. And they are very poor managers of time, very poor time management skills. And all it is conformity. And then if you start like trying to work harder, you try and start doing this, or you hound your boss for that information you need, then you start rocking the boat. Now, to intelligent people, you might say, well, that's good. We got hustle. No.
Right. You're going to make them look bad. Yep.
It's not even that. You're bothering them.
Yeah.
You're bothering them. They don't want to do that. Don't worry. You'll get. And so then you just sit there and, as the wise word of DT, go read some Nietzsche.
Yeah, I would say that the best thing you can do if you've got downtime, because inevitably, even if you're only working 20 hours a week for reals, and the rest is, fucking around time, there's going to come that moment where your asshole boss comes up to your cube and goes, "I need this now." Right. And then you have to be efficient because, well, I've got a meeting in 20 minutes. I need this now. And so if you can predict, if you can kind of do work that is coming and kind of lay the groundwork for it or whatever, get some stuff done that of it, even if you're not told to do it, it's eventually going to happen. You'll be ready and you won't have to tear your hair out of your head when your boss comes and puts all the pressure on you. So it's always try to make your life easier at work. Whatever you can do to make your life easier, do it. And the rest, only do what you're asked to do. But it'll be different in different workplaces. I suppose there's some workplaces where that never happens, where it's never we got to get this done right now. But I imagine most places are like that. And I've had a few instances in this job where I've done things that I wasn't asked to do, and all of a sudden it came up. Even in government work, sometimes things come up where, man, we got to get this done right now, or else we're not going to meet this deadline, or some laws being changed or whatever that we need to get on. We need to have this in before that law is changed, and so if you've got that done, then all of a sudden you look like a fucking hero, and all you really did was look out for yourself.
I would say there's not going to be a job you'll run into unless it is a real true hustle and shake shop, which has its own benefits, because then you're on fire, man. Then you're firing on all pistons. It's great. There's production. You feel like you accomplished something at the end of the day. For the remaining 99% of the job you guys are going to run out there in the white collar world, you will have more than enough time to cross every T, dot every I, and just sit there and twiddle your thumbs so that when a crisis does come in, you flip a couple switches and then the product of the report is done.
Yep.
And I mean, I had such great dental health working office jobs because I'd be so bored and so caught up with everything. I go floss my teeth and brush my teeth twice a day because it's just like, well, I ate. Well, I'll go, bro. Oh, I had some coffee. Maybe I'll brush my teeth again. I had really loose teeth.
I've had the job where it's like, I feel like I have to kind of take a shit. I might as well go take a shit. I've had those jobs. Great. You're totally regular. You're regular all the time.
I'd go pee 8 times a day just because it's about 2 ounces in there. There's a little drip, drip, drip.
It's something to do.
Something to do. Hey, little Aaron, how you doing, pal? Hey, Big A, what's going on? Okay, got to tuck you back in. Bye. An hour later, let's go pee again because it's there. What's funny is the younger people, they think, like, is it really that bad? It's like, yeah, it is.
It totally is.
Although I will say this, I've been starting to see, on my radar screen, I'm seeing a lot of our generation doing away with this baby boomer bullshit. And being a little bit more relaxed, like, yeah, you ain't got work to do. You can go home. You can work from home. We don't want you here. A lot of telecommunications getting more popular. And I forgot where it was, but it was an article. Maybe it was Inc. or something that said what I said 10 years ago was that there's no reason to have cubicles. There's no reason unless you actually need someone to physically be there. This is dumb. You're wasting time. I'm like, by God. If only I was king and made God Emperor Supreme, this shit would have been implemented 15 years ago. Imagine how better off would you be? But yeah, thankfully, I think the boomers have quietly retired or died, and they are no longer in command. They're no longer in control. I'm sure at some echelons, they're still there. I'm sure at some companies or corporate cultures, it's still a baby boomer at the helm. But I mean, these guys are squarely in their 70s now. And I don't even think a lot of them, most of them didn't keep up their skills. Most of them, God almighty, fucking 1995. I don't need to learn Excel. I got a piece of paper and a pen with a protractor.
Right.
And none of them really made the jump to like upper senior. Some of them did, but for the most part, if you're still working as a boomer, you're literally Lester Burnhaming it, where you're working at a fast food joint or some low ranked job, and you're more than likely answering to a Gen X boss who's like, yeah, let me explain something, Herman. You're going to learn how attachments work and how Google Documents work. And I don't give a shit if you didn't use a computer back in 68. So there is a little bit of hope, I think, for the youngins.
But I would just say know your responsibilities, know your job, what it is, what it isn't, and then just make your life as easy as possible, and you will succeed. Because the things that you're doing to make your life easy, if they're applicable to other people, they're going to be able to use it, and just be more. And so I think that's always the way that I've looked at it. I don't like wasting my own time. So I like to try to get things done as efficiently as I can. And so I work, it's almost like I'm working for myself. And the only trick is that you have to then be okay with just downtime and it is fucking boring. It's boring.
It's hard.
As fuck. Yeah. It's horrible to just sit there and realize I'm just wasting my time here. I'm getting paid for it, which is fine, I guess. But if you've gotten yourself into a situation where you don't necessarily need the money, then it's just torture, because your time is worth more than that to you.
What I've recommended in Bachelor Pad Economics, and I'm especially going to recommend it now because it wasn't quite the option that it is today. But if you want to go this corporate route, what you have every right to do, in my estimation, is if your boss can't keep up with you, and most of them won't, you have every right, in my estimation, to like go to school online at an accredited university. And I think you have every right to walk up right to your boss, especially if, don't be arrogant or cocky about it. But if your boss doesn't have gray hair, or at least, isn't a baby boomer, you go and say, look, I got a lot of downtime. I know you want me here for 8 hours, blah, 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 but I want to go and get a degree, master's in accounting or whatever else, or I get this certification to help you with your career, whatever, anything that would help you online that you could learn online and it would advance your career. Say, I want to be able to take these classes because if I got downtime, I'd rather skill up and get some new skills. All right. I want to learn how to do Visual Basic. I want to learn how to do accounting. And I don't think your boss is going to have a real issue. The only reason I bring it up to your boss, say, and I'd like you to pay for the tuition.
Right. Yep.
That's what I would say. And if they say no, I'm like, okay, well then you go and then you do it anyway, or you do it for free online or whatever. But I would not let any
at a minimum get paid for the time. Yeah, at the minimum, the time. If I'm sitting here, because the thing is if you, like you said, if you keep hounding your boss for work, you're gonna annoy your boss. And if you say, look, here, I've got a solution to this. I'm gonna study for that downtime, and you're gonna pay me to study, basically.
I remember being a foolish 20-something, and I was good, DT. I was good. Like the work ethic I had in my late teens and early 20s dwarfs what I do now. I mean, I was ready to kick at. I was like, let's do it, and I was good. And I would remember multiple times I'd see some drastic inefficiency, something that way. Well, that's completely and I go to I'd even have like this thing put together and this analysis and do cost benefit and then net present value. I even remember one, I was working at Norwest before it turned into Wells Fargo. I showed what the net present value would be added to each shareholder or each share in the company. I'm like, there's bad value. And what I didn't realize, like, even though, it would really streamline and it would add efficiency. What usually is associated with streamlining and efficiency when it comes to corporations?
Layoffs.
Like entire divisions would have been laid off. And I could never figure out, why don't they do this? This would make perfect sense. And the reason why is not only will my boss be gone, but my boss's boss would be gone. My boss's boss would be gone. And I don't know, I hadn't thought it through that far. Maybe I just thought, well, they'd be assigned to a different division then. It's like, nope, they'd be gone for good.
Yep.
So
look out for yourself. That's sort of the thing. Yeah, look out for yourself. Make your own life easy, and that's that. They're sort of doing that too. They're like, if I let a little Cappy Cap here do this, my life's not going to be easier. I might be out on the
fired
street
by next week. The corporation will be down to 2 people and a bunch of robots, and we'll all be out on the unemployment line.
But if it's anything for your job, for the thing that you're actually doing, do whatever innovation you want for your job,
Yeah. I mean, if you do it right, like, I could program Excel real well, and I got it down to, it would take the average dipshit by hand an hour and a half, 2 hours to analyze a loan. You set up this simple Excel spreadsheet. I had that sucker down in like 10 minutes. And that's how the blog got started, beyond the editing. My most serious, most well-researched, data-intense posts were all written at work because I'd be twiddling my thumbs. But I had to do something that looked like banking. So I'd be like on the Fred database, pulling economic data, doing amazing economic analysis.
You've got a spreadsheet open.
Always a spreadsheet. Always a spreadsheet. And those.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not living the way we should be living, and we know that, and that's why we try to get out of it. The rest of the people, they can fucking do whatever they want, I guess. If that's what fills the time in between the time right now and the time you die, then have at it, I guess. But for those of us who think like us, it's like you gotta somehow find your way out of that, because it's torture. It's just, you're just dying every hour. It's like, oh yeah, there I died a little bit more today.
Yeah. But then what happened? Okay, so then you get out and then you're free. And then you tell people, hey, we should get together and go hiking sometime. And no one shows up. And so you hike a long hike, and yeah, you sure you see mountains, but you die a little bit each day. Like, where is everyone?
See, I'd rather be dying, just like relaxing in front of the wood burning stove.
You say that, dude. You say that, but do it
No,
for
I
like
get
a
bored
solid year, and you go. Well, you had to go back to work for that,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah.
I had to go do something. Once I ran out of projects to do. I do like doing stuff. I do like being productive, but it needs to be rewarding work. It just can't be. I mean, the 40-hour week is not rewarding. If it was a 20-hour week, it would probably be very rewarding
Well,
because
and the
you'd
good
actually
thing,
be getting shit done. Because you'd
what
know I'm here for 5 hours, 4 hours, or whatever. Got to get this shit done, and then I can go do what I want for the rest of the day.
Well, I think that was like the perfect balance. And not, I could be wrong. I've known you now for quite some time, but I think the happiest you were was when you were working part time because you got the work in, you saw the kids off, then you got back and you got to see the kids, and and then the wife came home, you had dinner ready and everything. I thought that was like the right balance. Am I wrong?
I didn't have the dinner ready. I got to be honest about that.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Okay. Am I a big pro-feminist, rah female, you go girlism type of guy?
No, you're not. No, you're not. But see, here's the deal. Here's my whole argument.
Argument. Okay. All right.
Okay. What you always hear for guys that stay home, it's like, well, you should. I did the laundry and stuff like that, but you should be doing all these things that the women do when they stay home, right?
Uh-huh.
But then you go, well, ladies, are you fixing the leaky roof? Are you blowing out the driveway with the snowblower?
Cleaning
are you mowing?
the carburetor?
All those things that guys do. That's kind of in the guy's wheelhouse. We're still expected to do all that shit, plus all the female shit too. No, that's not no. So Mrs. DT and I worked out, well, these are the things I'm good at. These are the things you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we did it. Now, when
all
she
right.
listens to this after the fact, she'll be staring at me and giving me the evil eye, going, yeah, you never cooked. Cappy would have cooked and you never cooked.
Well, mine is, I totally understand the male female argument about which of the sexes have a better propensity to do certain household chores. There's certainly no doubt about that. But mine is more one of economics, where it's like, okay, I'm going to save some money making some food. The GF gets back. We'll have dinner ready. We eat, and then boom, chumma, we can go off bowling or whatever. And we had ourselves a good meal. So I've never, I'll clean the toilets. I'll clean the house. I'll do the laundry. It's got to get done. I did that before there were women in my household. I really don't find it, it's got to get done. But when the guy, it's just like, I'm with you there. But it's like, just shut the fuck up. I mean, is that an argument? Is that really what's it? Is that the saying in your vagina, ladies? Is that the husband didn't do the laundry? Really? That's the complaint. And what's shocking is how many women actually get pissed off about that shit.
Oh yeah, and there's all those studies where it says, oh, when women go to work, the men don't step up to, contribute to the household chores, and they never mention all the things that are typical. And maybe they're not typical guy things to do now because guys are such fucking cucks. But if you're a real man, you're doing all the dirty work. You are, you're snaking the fucking toilet when it's clogged. You're doing all that gross fucking work and the tough shit. The physically demanding work, and that's never counted. That's never in the equation.
No, but that's where I think they argue from. The people making the argument are just trying to sell shit to women. Women like to feel they're the victims all the time.
Right.
I don't think there's an ounce of intellectual honesty. It's like the wage gap. It's like, we don't make as much. Like, yeah, it's because you don't work as much. You major in stupid shit. Period. End of discussion. I solved the wage gap. That's it. There's nothing more that needs to be said. But they use various political and corporate entities will use that political thing to sell women more magazines or purses or whatever. I just as a practicalist, an empiricist, a realist. It's like, no, shit's got to get done. Let's do it. I've never.
Yeah, it's the saving money, saving time thing. Yeah, certainly. You want to try to. You want your hours. You don't just want to lay around. I never watched a fucking soap opera. I never watched television during the day. Never watched Dr. Phil. Never watched any of that shit. I would be taking care of the babies. I changed more fucking shitty diapers than most guys out there, probably more than my wife too. You know, I cleaned up all the puke, all that gross fucking shit. And besides that, I renovated the entire house, so it's like, yeah, I guess I didn't cook.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I removed a load-bearing wall in the house to open up the living space.
I added transmission fluid. It was at 150,000 miles. Do you want to drain that shit out yourself?
I fixed the furnace 3 times, the washing machine and dryer a half dozen times.
Yep.
I mean, they just don't. But it's like, oh, you didn't do the laundry, or oh, you didn't, whatever. You didn't. I cleaned and mopped the floors. But what would be another job that I never did? I don't know. I never cleaned the bathroom. I'd never cleaned the bath.
Really?
I never cleaned.
You've never cleaned the bathroom.
Never cleaned the shower. I never cleaned the shower.
How do you not clean a shower?
Because you're in the shower and you're using soap, so it's automatically clean.
Yeah, but soap leaves a waxy residue that in Minnesota the humidity results in mold. You gotta get salmonella. Yeah, you got it.
I get it, but I just wouldn't do it. See, sometimes I think for guys, it's like we can handle things longer. We have more of a tolerance for things sometimes than women, and so we can let the shower get to a certain amount of dirty before we fuck, I gotta clean this fucking shower, it's disgusting. But women will look at just its slight amount of dirt.
They come in with the white glove. They got the white glove. Dust.
So I think it's tolerance. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I have a rule on that one where, like, if ever the GF, and it wasn't the GF, this was girls in your, oh my God, this place is disgusting. And I'm like, well, the Windex is over there. Right. That's over there, and you can clean. Whoever has, and it's you call it tolerance. As long as it wasn't a biological mess, like I do dishes, I throw out the garbage, as long as it doesn't stink and there's not bacteria mold. But like, my papers all over my desk, like Colette, I'm like, I don't care, like, you gotta clean it. Like, go ahead, there's the vacuum, go do it. Yeah. And it's kind of funny when the GF comes down to the Southern Command, like she'll never start cleaning. I'm looking like, why? What are you doing? This place isn't that dirty. It's fine. Let's go play, for God's sake. What the fuck?
But then, like, for guys, I suppose, or where women would maybe not be all that bothered, they'd probably look at the driveway and go, the driveway looks fine. And I'm like, this thing needs to be fucking sealed.
Oh,
I need to get some emulsion on this thing. So I bet you there's some things that guys maybe are a little bit more picky about.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you don't tar your driveway, damage will occur.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't change the oil, I dated a girl, drove a Chevy Cabriolet. Or not Cabriolet, Chevy Cavalier. Boys, never date a girl who drives a Chevy Cavalier, if they even make them anymore. And she bought it brand new. I don't know how the hell the engine made it this many miles without blowing up. Guess how many miles she drove it without an oil change?
I think you told this before. I think you told me in the safety talk, and it was a lot of miles. It was
50,000 miles.
You said 50,000?
50,000. Now, when I'm thinking maybe she brought it in for like some maintenance and didn't know they gave it an oil change at one time. But that's why men will look at like that needs to get done. Because
like right now. Exactly.
Like now, yeah. Like if it doesn't, because there's consequences, there's cost. If we don't sweep the floor for another year, nothing is going to happen. Right. If I don't do the dishes, nothing's going to happen. But if you drive without coolant in the car another 30 miles, something might go wrong,
If there's a leak in the roof, it's going to destroy your ceiling. You can't just let it continue. Right. Yeah. If there's even like lawn maintenance, if you let, Creeping Charlie start to take hold.
Oh, I like.
You don't go out there and spray the fucking shit. It's going to take over your entire lawn. You have to get it done, and at a certain time. So I think guys understand that a little bit more. That there are things that just have to get done. Like I have to split the wood in the spring if it's going to have enough time to cure to burn it in the wintertime. This isn't something I can put off. It's got to get done when it's got to get done. And so I think guys do sort of fill their schedule with
preventative maintenance. That's exactly
preventative
maintenance. Yeah.
And you could say the same thing with, cooking. We got to eat, So I mean that is a daily, but there's sort of like daily things that are just like routine, and then there's stuff that you have to. If you don't remember to do it at a certain time, you're fucked. And so our brains are filled with all those kinds of things, like changing the furnace filter or all that kind of stuff that you need to remember to do. And if you don't, some serious issues could come up. From your negligence.
I'm happy to say that I've gotten my house like ship shape. Well, you've been to the WBL compound, and that place it doesn't look pretty on the inside, but it's ship shape. Like nothing is, and if something goes wrong, it's immediately fixed. And like everything draining away, so the foundation is good. I got. Roof might have to come on. I put siding on, so I never have to paint again. The wood burning stove is installed. The water pipes have been insulated. I mean, every little thing has been taken care of. That the thing is pretty much on autopilot now. And if God Almighty, if you boys and girls ever get into home ownership, you must. I almost would say they got to take a class in home maintenance.
Oh yeah, either it's learning on the job, or the more you can find out via YouTube or whatever, the better, because there are a lot of, you learn from your mistakes for sure in home ownership. But I would say even as a homeowner, you're like constantly on an alert. Like I'm always trying to listen for weird noises or smell weird smells. I just had to replace a dimmer switch because it was fucking shorting out and smoke was coming out of it.
Really?
And it's like, I don't know how many other people would have noticed that, but I was kind of noticing the buzzing for a while. So I was on alert already, and then one time I used it, and that looked like a little small amount of white smoke puffing out of there. I think I better replace this and not burn the house down.
Well, we got a couple sponsors here that I got to bang out of the way real quick. We have new website, themensadvocate.net. Check that out. This is written by a divorce guy for divorced men and men in general. So it advocates men. And I hate to use the words men's rights. I don't like that, because that means that then, women have rights. Now we gotta have rights. No. It's like we should eliminate all the special preferential treatment. I was gonna say special treatment. Preferential treatment is like, no, we're not gonna do that. But do not be fooled, guys. There's a percentage of the population that hates your guts, and they do not like you. And so go to the mensadvocate.net, newest website out there for men and women that like men. Orion's Cold Fire. Check out Orion's Cold Fire. There is politics, there's writing, there is news articles, but there's also a photo gallery that I prefer instead because I don't want to tune in to news. You'd be proud of me. I haven't paid attention to news even as little as I did before. I've paid attention even less since I got out here.
What was the Men's Advocate site again?
The Men's Advocate.
The Men's Advocate.
Yeah, not a. It's the one and only the Men's Advocate.net. Are you looking it up?
Typing it in right now. I'm seeing if the story that I was asked to bring, they've already addressed it. So maybe we'll just.
Oh God, everyone has. I try to remain ignorant about it, and like everyone's like, "Oh, did you see that?" And I still haven't watched the video. I kind of know what's going on.
Okay, I didn't think that you'd be able to avoid it after today.
I would have had to turn off all social media, not look up anything, and just hike, and truly been a Luddite when it came to technology. You at the site?
Yeah, the opening page doesn't have their articles or anything, but looks like the Advocate Fact page has their articles.
Okay.
And they haven't addressed it yet, doesn't look like. So.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a news site, so he wanted me, and I know the guy too. He's a fan down. I won't mention where. I kind of want to keep it anonymous, but I helped his daughters not major in stupid shit.
Ah, there you go.
Yep. So I think one of his daughters is still in high school. The other one is either freshman or sophomore in college. And I think she was, I want to say engineering of some kind, but I could be wrong. They were not going into the liberal arts. That was the good thing. So he did a good job there as a dad, preventing his kids from majoring in something stupid. And then we have academiccomposition.com. The school is back in session. And what would you estimate the number of classes you had to take that had nothing to do with your degree there, DT?
It wasn't too bad. I would say it's probably about a year's worth.
Okay. I was going to say
a 4-year degree. Yeah.
Yeah. A third of mine had nothing to do with my degree. Anyway, the reason they do that, kids, is because teachers hate you, professors hate you, and college administration hates you. They want your money, and they're going to make you take a bunch of worthless classes to employ a bunch of worthless liberal arts grad students. That's it. That's why those classes are there. And you're also not going to learn anything. You're going to learn how to hate white people. You're going to learn how to hate penis. And if you have either of those traits, you'll learn to hate yourself.
A good little hint is that life is designed to strip as much money away from you as possible.
Yes.
Whether it be school or wherever.
And so you may want to go and major in accounting or something else that has nothing to do with transgender studies. But if you want to have somebody else write these papers for these worthless classes, go to academiccomposition.com, where Alex and his crack team of writers will go ahead and write papers for you. He is also always looking to hire. You can either become a writer yourself, or you can become a marketer. DT, are either of these jobs fun or glorious?
I imagine. Well, unless you're actually researching something interesting, they gotta be just. Wouldn't be a fun job.
Are any jobs fun or glorious? No. Thank you. That was the correct answer I was looking for. Do not fall under this stupid lie that your job is to be rewarding and fulfilling and interesting and fun. That is for women under the age of 30 and dipshit millennial boys who think that they can major in almond milk. All right. You are not going to find a job that is fun, because DT, if the job is fun, what is the logical economic consequence of a job being fun?
Well, you do it for free, right?
Because if you don't do it for free, what will happen?
You'd probably. I'm struggling with where you're going with this. If
Okay,
you don't do it for free, you probably get fired. You wouldn't get the job.
No. This is basic microeconomics, human behavior. Let's say there's a job that's fun. It's called bang the hot redhead big boobed woman over there. All right. There's a bunch of hot redheads with big boobs and they want to have sex. Okay. And there's a job offer listed in the want ads in the newspaper. You got your red pen. Remember those days? You get the red pen, you could circle a job.
Yep.
And oh my God, looking for men who want to bang hot redheads with big boobs. And you're like, well, sign me up for this. So you apply. Okay.
Yes. And so does everybody else.
So does everybody else. What do you think would happen then to, let's say the starting wage is $40,000. Do you think you might find a guy willing to do it for 30?
Yes. It'll go straight down to minimum wage.
What? Minimum wage? Okay.
Well, if it's an actual job, it's got to be minimum wage, right?
Okay. All right. But then how can you get around that?
I'll volunteer work.
Internship. Yep. I'll do it for free. Mm-hmm. And then soon what happens?
Then you're paying for it.
Some guy's going to pay. Well, I'll pay you $2 an hour to go and take care of all these women. So when it is fun, what do we call that, DT?
It's a good or service, probably.
No.
That you're paying for.
What are fun things people do?
Fun things that people do are vacations
or a general, like if you did it like a regular
an activity.
It'd be called a hobby.
Yeah.
Those are called hobbies. You do it because they're fun and you do them willingly without payment because you enjoy them. And if
I got it.
There's chances for example,
I apologize, Cappy. I apologize for not following you there.
Let's take another route, shall we? Something a little bit more practical, because believe it or not, there's never been an instance where it's like, oh, dang, we got all these hot, big-breasted redheads that need to be banged. Well, whatever will we do? That's never happened. Artists or musicians.
Yes.
I want to write a children's book. I want to be a musician. How many other people want to be musicians?
Tons of other people.
Yes, yes. And so with the market being flooded with musicians to play at the local band or the local bar, what does the local bar usually pay the band members to play on a Friday night?
They'll maybe pay him in beer.
Here's a beer and some burgers. Now shut the fuck up and be happy.
Yep.
See? So if it's fun, it's not a job. So what do you think a job is then for? What if it's not fun and therefore it's a job? Why would you do something that you don't like, DT?
Because you want to have the money to go do stuff that's
because
fun.
they pay you.
Yes.
See, jobs are things you wouldn't want to do normally. Like I did not want to mix shit with gravel and cow manure and styrofoam and dirt and peat moss, peat bags, at the landscape company. I didn't want to do that, but they convinced me to do it. Do you know what I worked for back in the day? This is 1987. You know what I worked for back in the day?
87. Yeah, it's like $1.50 an hour or something.
$3.30. That was minimum wage in Wisconsin. Yep.
Okay.
So they paid me because work sucks, and all jobs suck. So if you go work for Alex at academiccomposition.com, don't bitch to him or whine to me. Dude, his job sucks. I got to write all these papers about Marxism. It's hard. It's difficult. I got to post ads on Craigslist. Oh my God. It's like, he's laughing his ass off right now because he actually came out here. I visited him, met him for the first time ever in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've known him for like 5-6 years now. But he's just telling me like these people, like what he gets is a lot of liberal arts graduates who are like, oh, I could do this. And then they bitch and whine about the job not being rewarding or experience. He's like, what the fuck? And he's from the former Soviet Union. So he's used to poverty. He's like, what the fuck are you Americans expecting? Like, Jesus Christ. So I'm glad we had this little sidebar into the world of
if you can find something fun about it, you'll be much happier though. If you can find one little thing that doesn't suck. That's sort of the key to the working world, right? Like for Adam's, his name was Adam, right?
Adam,
the academic composition guy.
Alex,
sorry. If you can look at it like, well, I'll be researching stuff and learning new things, and that'll be awesome. And then just try to emphasize that over the suck of writing these papers, then you'll have a great time.
I'll tell you, every job ends up sucking though. Not bad. Sure. I mean, they just get boring.
You get bored eventually.
Yeah, you get bored of it. You're just kind of like, okay, here you go. Even asshole consulting, although I've had some really interesting ones, it's just kind of like, all right, what is it this time? You know, all I want to do is play video games. That's all I want to do. And bang big-breasted redheads. I took a new job out here in Vegas. It's the big-breasted redheads brigade.
I will say that my most interesting performance review at a previous job was my bosses asked me, so how do you think you're doing, DT? And I'm like, to be honest, I'm bored. I'm kind of bored. I feel like I'm doing all the same thing. And they respond, well, that's funny you say that because we really think you've come into your own and you've found your niche in the company and you're doing a great job. So when you're bored, you're doing a great job usually.
See, that's like the Office Space mindset, like where those people who are just so team player in Raw Corporation, and well, you're just part of the Johnson Corporation team, and now you're part of the family. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you're not my family. And honestly, I'm contemplating whether I'd feel guilty if I put a bullet in your head right now because you're so smiley, fucking fake. Do you want to go through the super chats here before we go into our topic of the day?
Yeah, sure.
All right, what do we got?
We've got quite a few, I think.
Sweet. I wanted to
started it off.
A good old ass, loyal Percival.
Okay, so he gave $2 and said, "Not walking, Clary. Okay, time to secure first place." So he wanted the first contribution there.
Well, the Fitbit thing. You might want to get into that. You probably enjoy that.
It would interfere with my downtime. What do I tell you? I like my downtime. That's not going to do well.
Look, what about? Forget you. This isn't for you. What about Mrs. DT? What if she's sick and tired of seeing that little punch of gut you got there? She wants you to maybe go for a hike and lose a couple pounds?
I'm doing great. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I get to the
Yeah.
gym
Oh,
2 to
boy,
3
you and
times
the
a week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and the Chippendales, I bet. Yeah, you're. Hey, how about
I'm
this
kind of
one?
half doing a keto diet. You know, I have
That doesn't
my
work
bacon,
halfway.
my
That doesn't
bacon
work.
breakfast. And
Uh-huh.
yeah.
How about this? We'll do this. Hopefully Mrs. DT will listen in. When we get out to South Dakota, you will teach me the ways of relaxation, although I think I'll have that mastered. But I'm gonna
You
shed
have
10
no
pounds off.
idea.
We're gonna go hike. We're gonna go do some real hiking out there. And I'm gonna teach you to appreciate the outdoors and getting some regular exercise.
No, I mean, when I was overseas, I was in great shape there because there was nothing but hills, and I would walk to work every day, walk home. It's weird. I'm sort of like you, but sort of not. If I'm gonna go walk someplace, I want to actually go walk someplace. I don't want to be on a treadmill. I don't want to be, doing some loop that's boring or whatever.
Right.
No, I walk everywhere where I live if I can, because why not? Why get in a car and drive if you can walk? So I'm actually doing something. I'm actually walking to someplace and walking back. Or in South Dakota, I'm sure I'll be hiking all the time, seeing stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's all new out there too. You haven't seen it, so
Right.
that'd be.
So Atham's got another one that he followed up. This one's for me. $3.33. How is that Whistle Pig treating you, DT? Whistle Pig rye whiskey is very nice.
Did
nice.
Atham get you some?
No, I remembered that he said that was his favorite, and I was at the liquor store and it was $15 off, so I bought it.
Oh, cool.
So, I remember he said that like years ago. Somehow it stuck in my head that Atham liked a whiskey that somehow had to do with a pig. And when I saw this title, Whistle Pig, I'm like, that's got to be it. That's got to be the one that Atham likes. So
there's another Scotch out there called Monkey Shoulder.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And it's very clever marketing. How do you forget it?
Right.
Whistle Pig, Monkey Shoulder, farting hippo, whatever. Just get an animal in there and some kind of bodily function. Tripping moose, whatever. I'll figure it out.
All right, bacon's back.
Oh, Mr. Maldito.
Speaking of bacon breakfast, old DT eats the bacon breakfast, but Bacon Maldito says, "Feel you, Cap. I'm the only one that gets dollars done in this damn city. E = MC squared is so true for driving. The faster you move, the slower everyone else is."
Yes. This is true.
I don't know if that's E = MC squared, though. I think that's like relativity, maybe.
That's the
theory of
energy
relativity.
= mass times the speed of light squared.
Yeah. But there's no difference in speed there. It's just energy and mass. So,
I don't know. I just
relativity has to do with if you're moving faster, time's going slower for you, I think.
No,
it's going faster for other people. It's that whole relativity thing.
It's dealing with other people. Like the faster you want to go. I was listening to the Beckloff one time. He was talking about the Flash. The superhero character, the Flash. And one of them was where he had a date, and it was at some prestigious royal family or dignitary family, and his date was maybe the princess or something connected with the royal family. And so she's like, "Look, you eat way too fast. You have to sit still and just take your time." And so you see him in his own mind, like he's like, "Okay, measured bites, chew my food, take my time, measured bites." And then the next panel, he's wolfed down 3 plates. No one's dug into their food. They're looking at him in shock and horror, and he's just like, "Damn it." And that's life, man. If you want to go faster, you want to be better, you want to pack it in before you die. That's the thing I don't get. It's like the number one compelling argument that should be on everybody's mind, especially atheists and especially agnostics who are not too sure about an afterlife. You guys should be like redlining it with the afterburners on the entire time. Now, if you're religious and you believe in the afterlife, you got all the time in the world. Yeah, sit and smoke dope like DT does at his house. Just sit and do nothing. Have your wife do all the work. Fine. What are you? There's no rush. You're just going to die and be conscious in a different place. That's going to be better. So there's no rush to do anything. But even if you have the slightest doubt of an afterlife, Like, you really ought to be packing it in and making life as intense and dense and valuable as possible. And so when I look at people driving slow, I look at people just, they get up to it's so cliche, but it's so true.
I'll tell you the driving thing. You want to hear the driving thing? I used to be a faster
Asians
driver.
all apparently think they're going to make it in the afterlife because they all drove slow as fuck. Slow as fuck.
I know if you try to drive fast, you're just going to get frustrated by people in front of you. So I just go the speed limit and say, fuck it. That's what I do. I sit in the right lane. I don't sit in the left lane. I'm not an asshole. Yeah. But I sit in the right lane. Yeah, you guys can go fight each other in the left lane. I'm just going to have a nice, peaceful, pleasant drive.
Right. No, I've gotten better with driving because I really don't have anywhere to be. Once the commute is gone, it's just, but still I got to get to a trailhead or I want to go golf or something. It really is a frustrating, what my true anger and frustration is I want to pull these people over, grab them out of the driver's seat, grab by lapels and shake them like, don't you realize you're going to die? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you going so slow? Don't you have to be somewhere? And no one gets nobody. Like you were talking about people who watch like the daytime shit, like Dr. Phil. And did you know Days of Our Lives got renewed for 55th season this year?
It's to be a writer on that show. Can you imagine? Just like
they're dead. The original writers have got to be dead by now.
I'm sure they've got them coming in, but it's like you have to be writing constantly. You're just writing whatever comes in your head, whatever pops into your head. It's down on the page. Just a stream of consciousness. That's what a daytime soap operas have got to be. It's just stream of consciousness. Oh yeah, one take, good, print.
You know what? I bet you. No, they got to have that down to a science, like plot development, plot evolution.
Oh yeah,
they got to have a team of people. Like, okay, we're going to figure out the next because there's like 3 or 4 subplots going on all at the same time. Somebody actually bangs out the dialogue, and I'm sure they got it down like a machine. My question is for these people who waste their time watching Ellen, Good Morning America, or Dr. Phil, or Maury Povich, if he's still even on, or TV in general. I can't even go to the goddamn movies anymore. There's just so much other shit to do. It's like, don't tell me they're all religious. Don't tell me they're like, oh no, Jesus has got me covered. I believe in Christ. Then we can all sit on our asses and get fat like Chris Beckloff. That's just get in there, Chris. But for those of you who don't believe in the afterlife, you all should be, Scrat from Ice Age?
Yes.
That's how everybody, the acorn, the little saber-toothed squirrel that's always fetching his acorn. That's how everybody should be behaving if they don't believe in God or they don't believe in an afterlife. You should be scrambling for your acorns. You should be loving your acorns and cherishing conversation with your acorns. And that's what I try to do. But everybody else just. But
that allows you to cherish your acorns. Because if everybody was like you, there wouldn't be any acorns.
GDP per capita would be $500,000 a person. We'd all live to 200 years old. If everybody was like me, we'd have terraformed Jupiter, even though it's a gas planet. We would have figured out a way to make it terraformed. And you would be paid $200 an hour to go bang big-breasted, redheaded bras. I'd figure out an economic way to make that economic.
There's all kinds of different people, Clary, and they make space for you. Remember, don't criticize the herd. Don't criticize the herd. They give us the space we need.
I'm going to live off those motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. All right, what else we got for Super Chats?
I think there's one more here, unless somebody else has done anything. Oh, yeah, there's another one. See, once you start doing the Super Chats, then people start saying, hey, they're reading the Super Chats.
That's fine.
I'm saying it's a good thing. Let's go. Let's go. So Tactical Mall Cops for $10.
Holy shit. All right.
Yeah. Currently getting a BS in CJ. I'm assuming that's criminal justice. Yeah, I know. Not a great choice. 50% of classes are either sociological blame white men bullshit or have nothing to do with the criminal justice system.
Why is he continuing on?
What do you mean?
Why would, if he knows it's bullshit, why would he continue on? Doesn't he realize he's going to die?
Well, I think he probably wants to do something in criminal justice if he's a tactical mall cop.
He actually might be a mall cop, but
he's into tactics, so it's a little better.
There's no such thing as a tactical mall cop. You're a guy with a badge that shoos away teenagers and graffiti people. And then if there's trouble, you got to call the real cops. That's really all you are. You're just a visual deterrent. There's the guy I work for. He has a gig at one of the malls. I won't say where. And there's no way you can make me touch that with a 10-foot pole. No way. I'll go into a bad neighborhood where a house burned down. I'll go. I mean, there's no way I'm going to go to a mall and shoo away teenagers. No way. Not going to happen.
All right. So we've got. Anything you wanted to? Anything else you were sort of starting to say?
He should just get out. He should get out of that degree. Go to the police academy. Go join the military. You don't need to go to school. Nobody makes money with a criminal justice degree. Nobody. Only like minority women maybe get some kind of token affirmative action government job created out of thin air to maybe work with kids and raise awareness or some other bullshit. And then the grant funding runs out of that. And then you got to bitch and whine some more to get some more grant funding. Look, if you want to be a cop, go be a cop. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to the police academy. Now it depends on the city or the county or the state that you're applying in. Some of them require a 4-year degree. Others don't. But usually you should be able to find. Now, 10 years ago, they weren't hiring because all the baby boomer cops didn't like retire. Plus the economy went into recession. Like, oh shit, we're not going to retire. Now these baby boomer cops have retired because they have to. And now the cop, oh my God, you could pay the cops. You stood a better chance of getting that job banging the big breasted redheads. They did getting a chance to be a cop. Now they're begging and pleading people to become cops because they didn't fucking plan ahead. And I'm like, kind of like, it's kind of like, you know what? Fuck you. Just fuck you. There's a day that you could have had young, in shape men. Now the young men are soy boy millennials. Good luck with that. And it's not, I talked to a guy down in Phoenix. I won't mention who, but he was involved with training cops. He was a cop himself, but a specific, unique area of training. And he was talking about how they have a lot of disciplinary issues with the millennial cops because they're on their phones. The physical requirements, they've had to kind of bend the rules and lower it a little bit. And it's not because of the girls. It's because of the fucking boys. And it's like, well, maybe you should have hired some Gen X cops back in the day when they were in their prime. Now, no, we got too many. We make too much money. Fuck that. We don't want to be a cop. So yeah, now go be a cop. Now they're begging and pleading for people to apply to become cops.
Yeah, he said he followed up here and said he's been in the Guard for 6 years. So.
Oh, okay. There you go. He doesn't have to go get a degree.
He might be after something different though. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, okay. If you want to become a cop, I don't think criminal justice. I think that's just his name.
I think that's just his name. Maybe there's some other part of the criminal justice system he would like to be a part of.
Yeah, but go into accounting, go into forensic accounting, go anything. But there's nothing. Criminal justice is so worthless. No one gives a shit about it. If anything, you get the reputation like, oh look, here's a know-it-all that studied, a police work from an academic standpoint, but never's done a beat in his life.
Right.
All right. Any other super chats?
Another one from Noah Acosta. Hopefully not related to Jim Acosta. Unpaid internship once, 45-minute work, but 8 hours a day.
What is he saying?
So he's saying unpaid internship once, 45 minutes work, but 8 hours a day. So he's saying he's only doing about 45 minutes of work for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, it sounds about
an
right.
Unpaid Why would you do an unpaid internship?
I don't know. DT,
where you're doing 40, you're only doing actual 45 minutes of work, but you got to hang around 8 hours a day, not getting paid. What?
DT, let me ask you this. What do you think?
Clarify that.
What do you think my expectations are when someone reads Bachelor Pad Economics or pays good money to hire asshole consulting? For example, let's just go through an example. Somebody emails me at Asshole Consulting, Cappy, I'm thinking about getting a brand new Lexus. My dad's going to lend me the money. The dealership's going to be great financing. I could afford the payment. And I got student loans, but it was a really sweet ride. Then I will go and I'll tell the client and I'll say, okay, Mike, his name's not Mike, but let's just say it's Mike. Mike, you stupid motherfucker.
Exactly.
The fuck is wrong with you? Dipshit, cocksucking, filth of foul filth. Where do you live? I'll drive out there and beat your ass personally.
Toyotas have Lexus engines.
Yeah, it's just honest to God. How did you listen to the show? How do you even know about me to come to real? So after yelling at him and telling him what to do to not buy the car, what are my expectations of the client? After the client paid me good money, I read him the riot act and I concluded, thou shalt not buy the car. What are my expectations that Mike will do?
He'll buy the car.
No. What are my expectations?
Oh, your expectations is that he'll listen to you and not buy the car and go find a more reasonably priced car that works and that is a lot less money, doesn't get him into debt, and does the job.
Right. Now, what happens about a third of the time?
A third of the time they'll do that.
They'll go and ignore my advice.
Oh, so the 2/3, you got a 2/3 success rate. That's pretty good.
Actually, I am happy, but it's that third that annoys the fuck out of me. It's like, I could have just swore. Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm not remembering things. Maybe I have the early onset of Alzheimer's. But I could have swore, Mike, you paid me $40 for me to be enraged and angry at you. Even after you read Batchet Economics, even after you read all this, you still bought you bought the car. You bought the car. And I could have swore I told you not to do that. Was there a miscommunication? And then you say, "Well, dude, it was really sweet ride. Oh, it's a good deal." And so,
what failure rate would you be satisfied with?
Zero.
I mean, there's no. They all have to listen.
No, this is an academic or a philosophical question.
No, I get it.
Why do I have to deal with slow people in the left lane? Why do I have to deal with people who are not religious, who are atheist or agnostic, but don't realize they're going to die and do not have the hustle in life? What is acceptable is what should be. And what should be is people wake the fuck up and accept reality.
Yeah,
it's going to annoy me no matter what. There could be, I could have a 1% failure rate, like one person per year out of asshole consulting didn't follow my advice. It's still going to gnaw at me or piss me off on a philosophical level. Like, what don't you get about not getting pregnant as a teenager? Like, what the fuck? Because and it's not a reflection upon me. I'm not the one who's got the problem. I made money off of it. It's just it's a question about humanity. It's like, what don't you get about words? You know, what's wrong with words? We speak English. You seem to speak English very well. And I told you not to get knocked up by your boyfriend. And you went and you did it anyway. Now, what the fuck is that?
And they paid for it. Yeah.
Remember the Bill Cosby skit on brain damage?
Oh.
Where he's talking about his son. He gets home and he says, "I go home to my wife, Camille." And she says, "Bill, I want you to go upstairs and kill the boy."
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And he finds out the boy. Yeah. He says, "All right. Yes, master. Kill my boy." So he says, "So I go upstairs to kill my son." Guy was a fucking genius, man.
Oh, he was great. He's fantastic. And just great. No cursing. Family friendly, all of that.
Oh my God.
He was great. No swearing. Yeah. Fat Albert.
Oh yeah.
I listened to his older stand-up bits on tape.
Yeah.
When I was
like
a kid.
When you were a kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. With the go-kart races where they'd steal hubcaps.
My favorite one is where he saved the snowball.
Yeah, Junior Barnes.
In the freezer. Junior Barnes.
Barnes.
You gunky. That was my favorite one. Where he said, "Oh, Junior Barnes." That was my favorite. Yeah.
But that was the Bill Cosby skit. So I go up, my son has a mohawk. He says, "Why did you cut your hair like that?" My son says, Dad, I don't know. He's like, well, put your hand on your head. What do you feel? He says, there's no hair. Right. Now, why did you cut your hair off? I don't know. And he says, that's brain damage. If I ask you to do something or you not to do it, and you do it anyway, and you say, Dad, I don't know, that's brain damage. And that's what I'm pointing out. Yeah. And especially, okay, kid getting a mohawk haircut is one thing. You would think the preponderance, the entirety of human wisdom, humankind experience would say, don't get knocked up as a single teenage mother.
Right.
And not that this has ever happened. Should I get? But then someone goes and does it, or buys a Lexus, or whatever. I mean, you got to sit there and say, "What the fuck? Why?"
Right. But no failure rate.
That's what I would
be like. Well, 5% of people are just gonna be stupid.
I'm morally, I'm happy. One of the greatest things in my life that I've experienced is getting that first email from a client where you prevented me from majoring in X. I went and majored in Y. Now I'm making 65 grand. If it weren't for you, I'm like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And that is a success. I'm happy with that. And then I get those, once every 2 or 3 weeks, and it's good to hear people succeeding. And I've done a ton of good work. There's no doubt about it. But you're saying for my satisfaction, like where it's like, I am satisfied, and I know it's not ever going to happen. I'm just being honest. It's going to annoy the fuck out of me when it's so commonsensical. Like, should I set fire to my house? No, you really want to do. Oh, dang, I set fire anyway. It's a philosophical question about humanity.
So you're like Oscar Schindler, the end of Schindler's List, going, this pin would have saved one more life. And he's all pissed off at himself and depressed after he saved all these people.
No,
he still had that Nazi pin that he could have traded for one life.
I'm not upset with myself. It's more an exasperation with humanity.
Yeah.
Or maybe even a curiosity, an annoying curiosity, where there's a strain or a piece of our genetic code within the human mind, especially among some people, where they're just going to be insistent on fucking up their lives, causing themselves harm, or maybe not harm, but at least certainly more work than needs to be done. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. And when it's something as clear and obvious as something you shouldn't do, and they do it anyway, I'm kind of like, what the fuck?
Well, you should take solace in the fact that they won't be able to blame anyone but themselves.
No, they know. God Almighty, no.
Well, they shouldn't. They should. If when everything goes to shit, they should think, "Fuck, I should have listened to Clary."
Okay, that's assuming they listen to me. I thought you meant people who make dumbass decisions in general. I'm like, oh shit, no, they're good.
Yeah, I meant the people that don't do what you say, the people that aggravate you, the 30% that go out and go against your advice anyway, even after they paid you. Right. That when that guy buys the Lexus and he starts having trouble with the money payments and whatever, and he's got a really nice car, but he's miserable at his job or whatever because he's got to make those payments. He's got to think, man, Clary was right. They're not going to blame somebody else, right?
No, that's good. Yeah, they're not going to blame Whitey or men or the patriarchy or corporations or George Bush or Trump or anything. No, they
went into it with both eyes wide open.
They did. They did. Yeah. So there is that good. Hey, you want to let's do the Gillette thing and explain it to me.
Just one follow-up thing, and then we'll do that. Okay. Noah Acosta writes again for $5. I did the internship as a stupid 18-year-old before finding Clary. It was for a congressman. I did absolutely nothing at all. So that's sort of trying to get. I understand that you're trying to make contacts and schmooze and get into that whole political cesspool. So yeah, I can get why you would do that for free to try to just get your name out there as a dependable political person. So.
Yeah. Now that's a fate many young Republicans will face, but the vast majority of Democrats, I love, because there's so many more activists and crusaders and social justice warriors on the left than there is the right.
Right.
And not all of them can be Betsy Hodges. Not all of them can be Nancy Pelosi. not all of them are going to be Hillary Clinton. For every, it's like professional sports. For every LeBron James, there's 1,000. Actually, there's 19.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's 1 in 19,000. For every LeBron James, there's like 20,000 other guys who want to play basketball that just were never going to become professional athletes. You know, for every Ocasio-Cortez, there's got to be at least 500 other equally vapid, dumb, parasitic Kwantahahas that just didn't have the familial connections and wealth of her father to get into that position of power. And Betsy Hodges, you know where Betsy Hodges was from? Most people don't know. Betsy Hodges was the former mayor of Minneapolis, the whitest white girl that ever whited in all of North America. You know where she's from?
It's Wyzetta or something.
She's from the Wayzata, yeah.
Yeah, really?
And yeah, she never had to work for a day in her life, yeah.
I'm just like, what's the most pretentious town?
Yeah, the most pretentious whitey white person never swippled whitey. It's Wyzetta. Yeah. Wyzetta Whitey. That's what she should have been called. And so, like, I take nothing but tons of joy knowing the vast majority of leftist political activists are going to be working for free. They're like what Noah went through. Like, they intern for free. They're basically slaves. Right. And only the connected and the rich and the wealthy are going to actually get the positions of power and be invited to the dinner and all that. You guys are excited when there's pizza, organic pizza, sorry, homegrown, naturally gluten-free, fair trade pizza.
With goat cheese.
Goat cheese. Well, goats are, we won't want the goats. That's all right. What's this? So tell me the Gillette thing now.
Now, how much do you know about it?
Gillette put together a social justice warrior fuck male commercial, basically. Is that it? I mean, what was particularly egregious about it? I'm not going to watch it. I don't care to.
Well, yeah, it's just completely lecturing. I've heard the audio of it, and it's all the typical stuff, you know, bullying, toxic masculinity.
Did they actually say toxic masculinity?
I think they did.
Really? Okay.
I think they did. I mean, it was virtue signaling to the hilt. There is something to be said about being a good man, you know, being respectful, all that kind of stuff. But we're well past that point, right?
I'm half tempted. I'd like to. I couldn't do it because it's illegal. But I always had the philosophy that if you're going to accuse me of it, I at least have better done it. So, like, if someone accuses me of racism, you know what? I am going to discriminate against blacks. The problem is I can't discriminate against blacks because sometimes, guess who the best candidate is?
Right.
It's a black guy. Yeah. I can't discriminate against Mexicans except Atham because we don't like he's who wouldn't discriminate against him. I can't discriminate against Latinos because sometimes the best person for the job is a Latino. But I'm half of my mind, like, you know, the old captain that got terminal cancer but still could kick a little ass. Go right up to Procter and Gamble, find their social justice warrior department and say, men are violent? You're right, we are. And then just beat the fuck out of them. Say, good, now you could complain about toxic masculinity. Because when really, who's been oppressed? Who's been assaulted? Exactly, no one. Yeah.
Oh, what?
I was saying, I'm saying, is there a crisis where men are just randomly beating up people? No. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, you're going to accuse us of a crime you're going to blanket accuse men of crimes that they didn't commit.
Right.
Well, then we might as well have at least committed the crime so that you have something to legitimately complain about. Because I wouldn't want you to hypocritically lie and complain about something that didn't happen to you. So let's make sure you're limping for the next 10 years of your life.
And the cognitive dissonance of, you remember that that really, really, really good-looking murderer whose mugshot got out? Right? Here's Gillette, the best a man can be or get, or whatever the fuck they're saying now, that we need to be better, you know, and yet women were just drooling all over themselves over this convicted murderer because he looked like a model. So then what happened with the Gillette thing? They put this video out and what? I think it was just a YouTube video. I don't think I think it was I mean, they're obviously trying to get attention. I mean, this thing is blown up. It's got millions of views. Everybody's talking about it. And most of it I think is negative. Most of it is people basically saying, and that's how I sent my text to you, Cap, was, well, I'm not buying Gillette anymore. You know, Mrs. DT and I talk about, since we're minimalists, it's always really frustrating that when we get pissed off about stuff, it's like, well, we can't not buy it because we're already not buying it. Well, this is finally
it's like Apple or Starbucks.
Yeah, it's finally something I actually do purchase that I can say, fuck you, I'm going to go to Dollar Shave Club now, or I'm going to go to whoever. All I want out of my products is, I mean, they should be making guys look good and smell good. That's it. That's your fucking job. Make us look good and make us smell good. That's it.
Less hairy. That's it.
When we're busting our ass, we don't want to smell like shit. We don't want to smell horrible. We buy your fucking deodorant for that. When we need to groom a little bit so we don't look like something that just walked out of a cave, then we buy your shaving products. Just fucking stick to that. We'll handle the rest. All right.
What
you don't need to lecture us.
The response has been negative.
Yes, lots of guys are basically saying, "Fuck you, I'm done with Gillette. Not buying a single one of your products." I'm half tempted to look at all the products that Procter and Gamble produces.
Yeah, no, I'm
making
definitely
sure I'm
going
not
to make
buying
sure
them.
I don't buy any of that either. But here's the problem. Here's my question. How many Republicans do you know still shop at Starbucks and have Apple products?
Lots. I'm sure. Yep.
How many guys are going to cuck out on this one as well?
I don't know. I mean, this is one thing that we actually, well, I think a lot of girls buy their stuff for the guys. So that if your lady's buying you your, shaving cream, your razors, all that kind of stuff, you're probably just gonna, well, she'll just keep buying it, whatever. But this is sort of something that we do have to make sort of an effort.
No. But that's why I'm stopping. This is why I don't want to get my hopes up.
Yeah.
We don't have to do anything. I, as an individual, will go and do something. You, as an individual, will go and do something. But if this is just like Apple, where they could say, fuck you if you don't believe in global warming, we don't want you as a client. Star Wars, where it's like, fuck Star Wars and and we're going to have force the social justice warriors down your throat. Fuck you. And then they take it. And this is, again, going back to where you guys had me come in and talk to those Republican people, not to bring that story up again. But what do?
Nothing.
Do they say, no son, no daughter, you're not going to go to the ranked leftist McAllister College? No, they send their kids there. Do they stop buying Starbucks? Do they stop buying Apple? Do they actually? No, they don't. Because if half the population, which would be the presumed Republican conservative or non-ranked leftist communists, actually cut their spending, actually boycotted, then something would happen. And it never comes to fruition.
No.
It never materializes. You want to know why?
Well, because they're lazy.
Because most Republicans are cucks. Most conservative men are cucks. Most libertarian men are cucks.
Right.
They are. They're just weak, pathetic men. And sure, maybe sales will go down by 5%. But you know where I think they're going to make it up? I'll give you a hint.
The women are going to buy the stuff for their guys.
Well, the women are going to buy for the guys, but you're close. You're close.
They did say that they are trying to market to millennials. So,
okay, good for them.
So that they might see perhaps an increase there. I don't know.
I'm gonna
all these bearded hipsters who are like, I've been waiting for a reason to shave off my fucking beard that looks like everybody else's.
All those hipsters like go with the obscure, Frank's Organic Beard Kit grooming shit from Boston, New York, or not Boston, Brooklyn, New York. I'm going to give you where I think it's coming from. I'm going to give you a hint. Surface area.
Surface area. All I can think of is like swimmers that need to shave their whole body.
Okay. They go down that road.
Well, women and their legs, or
right?
Yeah.
Who uses more shavers?
Yeah, I can't remember. Does Gillette make women's stuff too?
I'm sure they do. They
I know
gotta
they've got a
female Gillette
brand
thing.
that is, I think, but
Right. And okay, fine. They're going to advertise to millennials, all right, except for the perfected bearded groomsters who aren't going to touch oh, Gillette has chemicals in it. Oh my God. All right. Most soy boys, most millennial men can't grow a fucking beard because they ain't got enough testosterone. Maybe they
true.
shave their pubes for their wifey poo or something. I don't know. Maybe that's what they could do. But I think it's going to be mostly women who are going to then make up for it. And it could be something like Nike, where they're not advertising to actual athletes, right? They're advertising to losers. They use Kaepernick to advertise, look, we're the underdog, we're Nike, our losers are winners in our world. In the neo-America, losers are the winners. And it worked. Like every loser buys Nikes now because they want to be they are a loser like Kaepernick.
Right.
And want to believe they're discriminated against. So it may actually pay off.
Well, I mean, there is the old adage or whatever that there's no such thing as bad publicity, and they're getting a ton of it right now, just a ton. I will say that the commercial was directed by a female, of course.
Of course. Do we have the name of the female?
Oh, I'd have to look it up in the article that I found, but it was Kim something.
Okay.
And then the guy that the new CEO or the head of the Procter and Gamble hair grooming division or whatever.
Well, I got him right here. I'm going to go to step number 2 after we get this done.
Gary Coombe, I think was his name.
Gary Coombe. Yep. Oh my God, this guy is just a pussy looking. Oh my God, look at him.
But I thought for sure that he would have been some new guy that was, since this is so different, that he just got the job in 2018. I'm like, wow, is this guy, come from some other company and come into this one to, shove his social justice warrior weight around? He's been with the company forever. Yeah.
Yep.
So that sort of surprised me.
Yeah, here he is. Gary Coombe leads Procter & Gamble's global grooming business, including the biggest shaving brands in the world, Gillette, Venus, Braun, and The Art of Shaving. The grooming business is responsible for 10% of company revenue, saving $800. He joined in 1986, sales representative, heart of ba-da-ba. Gary's passionate about passionate. God almighty. When I am king, anyone who uses that word will be killed.
And passion originally meant the passion of the Christ, I think, which is you get fucking flayed alive.
Oh.
Like you're tortured and destroyed. That's passion.
Passion wasn't about love or the throes of passion.
No, I think the origins of the word were it's so intense, like the passion of the Christ. I think that it's his love was so intense for humanity.
Here you go. Gary is passionate about coaching the next generation of leaders in and outside of Procter & Gamble. He is a strong advocate of servant leadership and dedicates a lot of his time to coaching, leadership training, and guest lecturing at universities. He's an active champion of diversity and inclusion, acting as executive sponsor for Procter & Gamble's gender equality and LGBT affinity groups in Europe. They're putting politics ahead of profits. I know they're thinking that this is a marketing strategy, but and it could still pay off. But if men actually grew some balls, here's what it's sad. If men let this happen, if Gillette doesn't see a 50% drop in their sales, men will have then given the green light for all corporations to continue lecturing us about shit we didn't do.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to get this moralizing, sermoning, and politicking in our day-to-day purchases of fucking razors. Because you men, I mean, what happened when Japan killed 3,000 people at Pearl Harbor? What did we do?
We unleashed hell.
We built the world's largest naval armada, sent it across the world's largest ocean, beat the shit out of the Japanese. We're fully prepared to invade. And even though we were willing to lose about 2 million people, we said, hey, you know what? Let's drop some nuclear fucking bombs on them.
Let's vaporize them.
Let's vaporize 2 entire fucking cities with 60,000 dead in the matter of half a second. And and men died. They got shot up. They got burned alive. My grandpa was at Iwo Jima. It was not fun for neither men on either side.
Yeah, horrible.
And all you pussy soy boy men out there, and I'm talking to Republican libertarian types, all you guys got to do is not buy Gillette. You know what? You're not going to because it's too inconvenient. And so now, Thank God we don't speak Japanese or German, because the World War II generation of real men prevented that from happening. You guys can't even change and buy Schick or Bic. So now we will forever be lectured by corporations about politics. And that's the biggest cost to my freedom or my quality of living, I'd say right now.
Because they've got a passion. You want to know the origin of passion?
Did you look it up?
Yep. It's
okay, cool.
From the Latin pati, which means suffer.
Okay.
So it means suffering, basically.
Suffering. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up, I got the Procter & Gamble corporate executives here. Gary Coombe is in charge of global grooming. He is not the CEO. That is David S. Taylor, who's a different guy. I am looking for their diversity and inclusion and cocksucking and CSR and HR person. So they got a lot of executives.
Well,
so
they said you said that his division's responsible for only 10% of the total revenue. Of the
no, I think shaving products are responsible for 10% of it. He's in global grooming, which includes all the female Venus, which is Gillette's female version.
Yeah.
Here's William P. Gibson, end-to-end packaging transformation and chief diversity officer. That's weird. He's got like a dual role. He's like in supply. Well, he's in supply chain management, end-to-end packaging transformation, and chief diversity officer. It's like, hey, Bill, I know you're busy with the supply chain management stuff, but since you're the only black guy we got, you want to be I mean, quite literally, I bet you that's what it is.
It's got to be.
It's got to be.
I just want to work on packaging. Can I just do that?
Yeah.
We'll give you this much more money if you do this too. All right.
Okay. Hang on. Let me look at Bill. William is responsible for evolving Procter & Gamble's packaging strategy across an increasing complex array of products, markets, materials, and consumer health. Yeah, that's a legit job.
Right.
Like he might be busy. His hands might be full.
Got to protect that product. Got to protect those razors.
How much you want to bet that poor guy, he's just going along happy, got a great career, supply chain management. Hey, you're the black guy. Can you
like the line? Like the line in Lethal Weapon 2. Lethal Weapon 2. But you're black.
Here's the poor son of a bitch. An engineer by training. William believes that tackling tough challenges require facing reality, engages other in a mindset to create superior products, packages, businesses that delight customers while making workplace everyone's value, blah, blah, blah. He joined in 85. Bachelor's of Science in Chemical Engineering.
For packaging.
Yeah. This guy's he's legit. And so I don't think he's the real. I bet you he was shaking his head at this one. I bet you he was biting his tongue. There's the HR officer. See, here's what I don't get. Shalish G. Ricker, East Indian, president, Global Fabric Care, Fabric and Home Care Sector, and executive sponsor. Okay, legitimate factor or aspect of Gillette and Procter & Gamble, you think, right?
Yeah, fabrics. Yeah.
He's also in charge of global sustainability.
Huh.
How much you want to bet these guys like, hey, the government spent trillions on educating these kids on social justice warrior bullshit and replaced them with this. So they got them this official religion. You, Bill, you're the black guy. You're in charge of diversity. Hey, Jukar, you're from India. You're in charge of global sustainability.
It's job protection. It's to make sure these upstarts don't take those jobs away from the people that have been there forever.
Well, no, what it's saying is I bet you Procter & Gamble doesn't believe an ounce of this bullshit. They're like, hey, we need someone to make the millennials happy that we're, watching our carbon footprint. Mike, set up some fake website, some site, that page that blathers on about how we watch out shit for the environment. Frank, you do the same thing, except have it be for diversity, inclusion, and minorities and women. And Mikey, you over there, you talk about sustainability and all that other shit. I don't care what your real job is. We don't have time for this shit. Just no, you're not gonna have to work at all. We're just gonna it's all gonna be fake.
Check that box.
Brand officer. Here's a gal, group president, North American selling and market operations, and executive sponsor. And then she's in charge of gender equality. and she's kind of a butchy, ugly looking gal. And this is the only one I could actually find, because I thought there was going to be like one person at corporate social responsibility head with a background of just, no real work. And this gal,
so you're saying they're all legitimate people, but they have this like other responsibility tacked onto their title. Purely has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
They're covering that base.
It's just for marketing. It's just for virtue signaling.
Yeah.
These guys have real jobs. Like, yeah, here's this gal. She got her degree in commerce back in 1983. So she joined Procter & Gamble in 1983. Positions held. She was an analyst, systems analyst, customer manager, unit manager, district manager. So this gal has a real job. And this one, and my mockery about her looking like a butch lesbian is one thing. But she had a real job, and now, 2016, just 2 years ago. Oh, hey, by the way, Carolyn, her name's Carolyn Tasted. Carolyn is passionate. She's passionate about diversity and inclusion. She's passionate.
She suffers over it. Yeah.
She is executive sponsor of Procter & Gamble's gender equality citizenship effort and leads Procter & Gamble's corporate women's leadership team. And that only happened in 2016. I bet you know what?
This is just cynical. This is just everything about it is just
fake.
So, hey, look at us. We're doing the right thing. We're checking that box.
How does it feel? I don't know if we got any women listening in. We do have minorities. A fair amount, actually. I'd love to see it in the chat room. That's got to piss you guys off that they just, what's the word? Placate, talk down, pat you on the head. What's the word I'm looking for? Condescending?
It's phony. It's just a front. It's you don't even know if they really believe it. I mean, they still want to just sell you shit. That's all they want to do.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is because they all have real jobs and very stellar careers, it obviously is just tacked on. It is just, oh yeah, us too. Yeah, we're totally down with the cause. It would be like me walking in, I'm trying to think of something analogous. It'd be like me walking into a Black Panther meeting and say, hey, yeah, what up, guys? I'm with you too. I'm one of you guys. Down with the system, man. Yeah. Okay, I got to get going. We'll see you. Bye. There's no legitimacy. None of these people actually believe it. No. It's just they said, hey, the dipshit millennials and the Gen Zers have been brainwashed and indoctrinated with this slop, and they won't buy it unless there's a fucking political statement attached to it. What the approved political statement is that men are bad and toxic masculinity. Throw those words around. Oh, and by the way, Amy, you're the diversity director. Frank, you're in charge of inclusion. Bob, you're in charge of gender relations. And Amy, you're in charge of global. I don't care if you're the CPA. I don't care if you have financing. That's what you are. So it's all fake. It's all fake. And it's used just to lie to people to make them think like, we understand and we're down with you, bro. Imagine the whitest white guy that ever whited who was from Wyzetta. And he had the cardigan sweater tied around him. And he went to like a rap concert and actually, that's what I'm picturing. These stuffy fucking corporate suits.
Phonies.
Yeah, phonies, frauds.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll see if
it probably is just a cynical ploy because there is Dollar Shave Club. There's a lot of competition now. Mm-hmm. And so they probably are just like, well, we got to do something to stand out here from the herd.
Yeah.
And let's do this. I mean, the best the man can get, we can do better than that. We can be the best we can be. We can, start to try to promote. Yeah. Yeah. Not beat our wives, not,
wait a minute.
Not go, that happens all the time now, right?
Yeah, it does. Was that in the actual commercial?
Yes, it was.
Not whistling. We can't wolf whistle at women anymore, huh?
Right. Yeah. No, it was. It's sort of. If you listen to the audio, I haven't seen the video. It's very chaotic. It's just a mash of stuff, like just all thrown together with this overly dramatic music.
And of guys doing traditional guy shit or what?
Well, it's just there's a narrator saying, we should be doing this, we should be doing that, some people stand up, some people don't, we should be talking about doing the right thing. And they got all these little examples of bullying. Oh, boys will be boys. It's just they threw it was everything but the kitchen sink. Everything against men.
All the cliches.
Yes, just cliches all over. Just everything thrown into it like a radio signal that has everything all at once. I mean, when you listen to the audio, it actually it's not very effective.
Okay.
Because you can it's almost like listening to it. You can quote see through it more than I suppose what it actually looks like. I didn't bother watching it. So
it's so common now, and it's so predictable.
And I think you're right. I think our reaction is predictable too. I think they know, all these people are going to make a big deal about it and nobody's going to care. They're just going to keep doing it. So it's just a bunch of free publicity.
Well,
there's no ramifications. There's no consequences for it. Literally, the left is untouchable. They can do anything. And so why not join that team? They can do anything.
I've likened it. I don't know did you ever read the article I wrote about how corporate virtue signaling, why they do it? And I
seem to remember that. Yeah.
I liken the investments of trillions of dollars that the government has invested in brainwashing kids who are now adults, our generation, even about diversity and feminism and global warming. They basically made a government approved and ordained religion of different causes, all of which are socialist in nature. Feminism, global warming, diversity, whatever else. And I likened it to the trillions of dollars in today's dollars that the government has spent on the U.S. interstate system. And corporations are basically looking at this new religion, this infrastructure, if you will, this thought infrastructure. And they're saying, well, we could spend money building a brand name like the Energizer Bunny and making people laugh in a commercial. Or these sheep, these NPCs, these automatons, you millennials and younger, are so brainwashed, and such a high percentage of them are brainwashed to believe in this religion and to put it at the core of their value. Like that is really their religion. They have no other values. They've accomplished nothing else in their lives. The only thing they have is their education. Even that's worthless in 2/3 of the instances. The only thing they have is their goddamn politics. And so they're going green. They're going organic. They're doing this. They're doing that because it doesn't take anything. I'm for equality. Well, good for you. Or I'm against child abuse. Well, holy fucking brave stance, Batman. Really? Right. You're against child abuse. I'm against cancer. Holy shit. But then when corporations say, look, these dipshits, these morons believe they have value because they buy organic or they buy it because there's a political cause. All we got to do is attach to the approved political cause and they'll buy it. And what are they really buying? Are they buying shavers? Are they buying Gillette shaving cream?
No, they're buying. Yeah, they're buying a badge. They're buying an award.
They're buying worth.
A little pin to put on their uniform, their social justice uniform.
It's almost like those Catholic indulgences, except it's kind of like the indulgences were to forgive you of a sin. Buying from these social justice warrior advertised products is buying your way out of actually working and accomplishing something of value in life. Like you don't have to work. You just have to buy something that's moral and politically correct. And therefore you're a good person. It's like, no, you're just a lazy, no good fuck who never wanted to work hard in the first place. And you're such a lazy, no good, worthless fuck. You will go and buy shit because of their politics, because that avoids, in your mind, that allows you to morally avoid the responsibility of working and supporting your own goddamn ass.
It's so, I'll tell you a little story that's right in line with this. Back when I when I was writing fiction, I was in a writers group and they were mainly leftists in there. And one of them was published and a pretty successful mystery writer here in Minnesota. And this was when the Dixie Chicks came out and criticized the Bush administration. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And so there were people that were boycotting them, but then there were all of a sudden a bunch of these leftists that, oh, the Dixie Chicks. And so we were reading an example, a sample chapter from this published writer who was, a part of our group and showing us her stuff to get feedback. And what does the main character have on her wall to show how hip she is for a poster of a band? Dixie. Of course it was the Dixie Chicks. And I read that, I'm just rolling my eyes, because that's what the left does. The left, when somebody takes a quote stand like this, then all of a sudden, like the lemmings that they are, they all start supporting that. They all start saying that same thing or whatever. So I'm sure you'll see something with Gillette here. You'll see something where the left will start. I don't know what they'll do, but it'll involve Gillette somehow, that to show their support, to show their solidarity in the struggle.
But then look at how easily duped. See, maybe I got to tip my hat to these corporations. Remember 10, 15 years ago, how it's the evil corporations, man.
Yeah.
And now these corporations have duped these fucking sheep and
turned it around.
They turned it around. They got these goddamn leftists to actually think, because now that you buy Nike, you're down with the cause and you're against racism. If you buy from Gillette, you're against men beating their wives.
Yeah, they're supporting corporations now. They're supporting
corporations now.
It's incredible. I mean, next you'll see is DuPont saying something, or like who's the ones that Monsanto will come out and virtue signal about corn or whatever.
My favorite, my all-time favorite. I even wrote an article about it. Tex Rillerson, when he was in charge, he was CEO of Exxon. Exxon came out with their corporate social responsibility, or their environmental responsibility page. And I'm like, dude, just give it the fuck up. You're Exxon. These people, these leftists have such a hard-on hatred boner for you. There's nothing, you get oil. You're big oil. You're the biggest private sector oil company there ever was. Don't even bother with this shit. You're not going to convince them, because oil by its nature is like totally anti-environment. You couldn't, it'd be like a church or Satan coming up with a pro-church advertisement. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like you're the antithesis of the cause. But all these other, non-blatantly, big oil or banking, they, consumer products, they can get away with it. Target, we're like, we just love the trans and you could use whatever bathroom you want. And it will probably work, because their product is not necessarily anti-leftist or anti-environment.
And it's got to be something where there's a choice too. There's a choice to buy one brand over another. The whole idea of branding with oil, is there really any branding that goes on? Not really. You need to fill up your fucking car. You go to the nearest place and fill it up. I mean, there's not really any, I only go to Exxon, or I only go to,
I'm a British Petroleum man. That's
Sinclair. I like those green dinosaurs. I always go there. No, there's not really anything there. But yeah, if you're able to set yourself apart from the pack, where there's kind of the illusion of choice, where there's at least a few where people can choose from, they'll be all over, like you said, all over what's easiest. Yeah. What's the easiest way to get attention, to get loyalty, when it's not based on the actual quality of the product. It's that you're a good person, or that you're moral, or that you're whatever.
What are these people going to do who are so easily duped into buying a product because it virtue signaled the correct leftist policy? Like, what's that person's life like? You have so you have so little going on. You're actually swayed to go buy razors now at Gillette because it makes you feel good. Like that's actually something that's a part of your day. You point to that as, hey, that's the sunshiny moment of my day when I decided to become a Gillette man. Or I'm going to buy Starbucks because they have conversations about race. Where you actually you feel good about yourself because you changed your consuming behavior. Not even consuming behavior, but you just bought from a different place. Mm-hmm. Because they told you what you wanted to hear. Like, how little else do you have? Because I don't know about what was the greatest accomplishment? What was the height of your day, the peak of your day today?
Today?
Today, yeah, accomplishment. What did you do that you were proud of, or you looked at and said, this is the best part of the day?
Just my kids this morning. Yeah. That's
Okay.
probably the best part of the day is just seeing how great they are.
You were a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to spend time with them.
Right. Yep. At the bus stop. Yep.
Okay. So you had kids and you're a good father. That's something to be, proud of. No, it's not something to be proud. Right. There's accomplishment there. You know what probably my peak achievement of the day was?
Not getting too angry at me for being late.
No. It was going to the gym. I hit the gym and I improved my physical health.
Yep.
Now, are these accomplishments going to save the world or usher us into a new era of nirvana?
It's saving the world one heartbeat at a time.
God almighty. Did it matter? Did it really matter?
No, it doesn't.
No. But on a small level, it did somewhat matter. Your children are going to grow up to be better children, better grounded children. You have the love of your children. I have gotten physical health. This is not, again, we didn't cure cancer or anything, but those are actual tangible improvements. Health and stronger families. What the fuck does the average leftist who decides that I'm going to go shop at Gillette now, that's the best thing. How sad is the rest of their life? What other accomplishments or achievements do they have in their life? Because they were convinced by a man-hating commercial to go shop at Gillette.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's very shallow. It's very for that stuff, but it works. I mean, it works all kinds of ways. This stuff works. I was just gonna say, wouldn't you rather have it back in the good old days where somebody had that little triangle guess symbol on their ass and that was the status symbol rather than all this bullshit that we're dealing with today? I'd almost prefer the whole snobby clothes thing that we had to grow up with than this shit.
I don't know. I'm thinking they've
just traded, right?
They've just traded. I was going to say they're equally evil, but in different ways. I don't think they're both immoral. People are sheep.
They try to shame you for not.
If you didn't buy it, you were shamed. Right.
Yeah.
You were hated. I think the only thing different is corporations weren't lecturing you or sermonizing you or accusing you of shit you didn't do. I think so I would say,
it's worse now.
It's worse now, but the product and everything, no, it's equally evil and bad. It's equally preying on the stupid and the sheep. But the fact that I got to be accused of shit or implied, and this tiring, hypocritical bullshit, where it's, men are bad and whites are bad and capitalism is bad, even though we're a corporation. And I'm just so sick of having politics in with my products. Right. And so, it's worse now. It was bad back in the 80s. We're like, you have Cavaricci jeans or whatever, but this is bullshit because at least Cavaricci didn't make a commercial saying, you don't have Cavariccis? Well, you suck and you're a fucking racist. You're a sexist and you hate women, you beat them. You're toxic. And Cavaricci never said that about me. Guess Jeans never said that about me.
Only slave owners don't own Cavaricci
jeans. What was it? France Mirth Gerbeau or Girth Gerbeau?
Gerbods. Gerbeau.
Gerbods or Gerbeaus?
It was. I think they were called Gerbeaus. Yeah.
Gerbeaus. Yeah.
You don't
own Gerbeaus? Well, I guess you like beating up black people. That's the modern day shit of what this crap is.
Yeah. Gerbeaus. Instead of a tag on your ass, it's over your dick. That was the only difference with Gerbeaus, as I think that their tag was right over your crotch.
Was that it?
I think it was right over your dick. Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm so glad those 80s.
Hey, I see you're wearing Gerbeaus today.
And then you know what? To show you how hypocritical Gen X is, because I know we slam on the millennials and the boomers here, but Gen X is no better. 1993, it all went away. Kurt Cocaine came in, and then,
Yep.
dude, man, I'm going to Ragstock now. It's like, wait a
Yep.
minute. I thought all this clothes was the coolest fucking shit that we had to have. No, man. Like, I got ripped jeans that are pre-ripped, and like, it's all about minimalism now, man. I'm like, I'm gonna push you guys in Puget Sound and fucking drown you. Hope a hungry whale eats you. You know, it's just, oh
the
god.
music went from guitarists that actually knew how to play their instruments to people just raking them, just rah. It was very frustrating, at least for metal fans. I think the whole grunge era was kind of frustrating.
The grunge era. Well, look, the metal hair band, the metal hair band was not all that great either.
Well, some of them were very technically gifted, very
Van Halen. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Extreme, Nuno Bettencourt, just fantastic.
Okay, yeah.
Even like bands like Aerosmith and
Aerosmith, yes. Yeah. I'm not saying these musicians weren't talented, but you know, take Kiss or Slayer. They were masterful businessmen and showmen before they were musicians. That's what that was. Guns N' Roses, that was showmanship. That wasn't musicianship. That was showmanship.
Slash is pretty goddamn.
I'm not saying they weren't talented musicians. I'm just saying
good songwriters.
First and foremost, you know, especially
attitude.
Kids.
Attitude or showmanship. Yeah.
The 80s hair band had more in common with wrestling, professional wrestling, with the fake pomp and circumstance, especially in the 80s, than anything to do with actual wrestling and actual music. And then grunge was just Gen X saying, fuck it, we don't want to try anymore. We're all emo-y and we're depressed and sad.
Yeah, right.
And this guy, he talks to me, man. He knows how I feel. And then I get all sad and
it went from singing about sex and drugs and partying and all that kind of stuff to suicide.
And then thankfully some of the actual musicians delivered on their promise.
Yeah, they sure did. Oh boy. And I really like Chris Cornell. He was a good songwriter and singer, I thought. But
who was Chris Cornell? What band was he?
He was the most recent one. He was the Soundgarden guy that killed himself.
What, recently?
Yeah, I think you were posting. Oh, I have no idea who this guy is, and good for me, I don't know who he is. And
that was like 3-4 years ago. Yeah, he didn't kill himself in the 90s.
No, he did not kill himself in the 90s. No,
all right. Kurt Cocaine did.
Yes, he did. He blew his
Amy
head
Winehouse, like, still considering that group. Oh, things are so emotional and problematic, man. I got millions of dollars and I'm cute and people like me. I got to end it. Like, just get the fuck out of here.
Oh. Well, Ernest Hemingway killed himself, right?
I think he was bored. Incredibly bored.
Some of these artistic types, I think they take life really, really seriously. I think.
Well, why would they kill themselves if they took life really, really seriously?
Because they're just sick of it. They're like looking at it like how we look at life. Like, man, these people just fucking, they're lame, they're stupid, they're whatever. This isn't the way that it should be. This is just a load of shit. I'm out of here. I think that's why Hemingway did. He just kind of like, I'm bored.
What if Hunter S. Thompson? Was it the same way? He was like terminally ill and in pain, wasn't he?
I don't remember that one. Yeah.
I can see that, because I won't lie to you. There's times where I'm just like, fuck, where the hell is everyone? Like, what the fuck is this shit?
Right.
Where I'm kind of like, okay, am I going to go on another hike again? Am I going to go for another motorcycle ride? And it's
anybody, I think anybody who's honest with themselves and that is like a deep thinking person, is the thought crosses your mind, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Every once in a while, I'm like, when my kids are all grown up, I can get taken at any time. I don't care. I won't be that sad if I get the diagnosis after my kids are out of the house and I've done my job and all that. It might be time to move on. So, I think it's sort of normal, but I always tell, you run into people who are suicidal and shit like that. And I always like, you got to stick around just to see what happens next. It's entertaining.
I agree with you. I have no patience or tolerance because I get clients, fucking 23, living at home, dad ain't around, I'm a loser, I've thought about killing myself. Like, shut the fuck up. You didn't even give it a shot. You didn't even give it a try. Half the time I say, pull the fucking trigger. All right, knock it off. Stop pussyfooting about it. Stop. Life sucks, and I'm not good with girls. I'll fucking die. Fucking die. All right, nobody wants you. No one's gonna miss you, and you're just gonna have this miserable fucking existence. All right, get the fuck out of here.
And you're not and welcome to the party, pal. There's nothing really unique about that, really.
Yeah, I mean, and then
life sucks.
What did the nerds do? Well, most of you should have. Hopefully, you hit the gym, you got up, you went out, you banged, and then you found out it still fucking sucked. But it's here. It's something to do. And you and me, and pretty much everyone in our cadre of colleagues, we have found some kind of point, meaning, and purpose in life. But I would say the difference between Mr. fucking emo boy fucking jerking off the porn all the time versus a cerebral man like Ernest Hemingway or ourselves. Ernest Hemingway maybe contemplated it a little bit more seriously than I. Well, obviously he did, but you kind of like, God, really another day of this, and that's part of life is you got to find a new thing. Oh, you got to write a new book. You got to do this. You got to try a new hobby. You got to find new people, new friends. But boy almighty, the other thing, I'll tell you this, especially, I don't know how old people do it. I could totally see like 60 years old. Kids are out, whatever. I could see it. I'm done with this. The novelty wears off with life. Like I look at my nieces, the little 3-year-old recently turned 3. Everything is amazing.
Everything's awesome.
Yeah. Everything.
Yep.
Like a puzzle of the United States. And she puts it together and she fixes it. Look, I fix it. And then she'll grab an apple. Look, apple. I'm like, yeah. Holy shit, you're more excited about an apple than I am the prospects of having a job of banging big-titted, hot, redheaded women. You are more excited about that apple.
Right.
But, here it's kind of like, an apple. All right, I've seen that. Yeah, Mount Rushmore. I've been, across the country, twice on a motorcycle, 3 times if you include east-west. Oh yeah, another supposed to go. I mean, it the novelty, and after you live a while, there's not a lot left unless you're a billionaire. Like, I wonder what's like to fly an F-16, or I sure would like to own an aircraft carrier group. I mean, you start running out of new shit to do.
Yeah, if you're ever bored, just turn on Science Channel when they're talking about space, and you'll immediately not be bored. That's sort of my cure. Is just, man, if I can keep learning stuff, then life's always interesting. I still will learn something all the time. Like, here's a little tidbit that I found to be where it kind of locked everything into place for Minnesota. So, if you look into the Dakota Indian War that happened in Minnesota,
1872.
Yeah, it was over a few years. And
it wasn't last week,
right? And it was during the Civil War, and look into the war. The way that it's portrayed is not actually the way that it happened, with all the things that happened. Whitey bad now, of course, but if you look into the actual history, it makes a lot more sense. But the reason why Minnesota started voting Democrat is because after the war, they sentenced like 300, 400 Dakota warriors to death.
Okay.
And Abraham Lincoln looked at their sentencing and commuted most of their sentences except for like 39 people. And the 39 that they hung was the largest mass execution in U.S. history. All right. And that's the reason why Minnesota stopped voting Republican, is because they were pissed off at Lincoln that he did not kill more of the Indians that killed all the Minnesotans.
Oh, the good old Democrat Party.
So it's just it all locked into place. It's like, why did Minnesota start voting Democrat? So, sure, it makes total sense that Lincoln didn't kill enough Indians.
Maybe that election cycle, I think a lot of it has to do with the pussy Pollyannish Swedish Norwegian culture that's here now.
But there's always something that they definitely mentioned that Minnesota had voted for Abraham Lincoln, and then they didn't.
And they so did. Okay, I did see
sometimes
that,
it can be something as small as that kind of like turns the tide type of thing. And so I found that to be the cynical part of my brain goes, it just figures. Well, the pursuit of knowledge. Trying to free the slaves down south, and you know, missed some payment. You know, the government missed some payments to the Indian tribes, and the Indian tribes decided to break the treaties and kill a bunch of settlers up here, and Minnesota wanted revenge for all the bloodshed, and they didn't get it, so they started voting Democrat.
Well, the pursuit of knowledge like that, I go into history more than I do science. Because the problem when I go on, the way I take in this new knowledge or the research is through YouTube channels that I'll convert to MP3. And so when you search for space, it immediately starts recommending all this conspiracy bullshit where it's like Egypt was the place the aliens landed and the pyramids are jet things and blacks were the true Egyptians and they were it's like, just tell me about gravity and the speed of light. Okay. Just tell me about black holes.
Right.
And so I do enjoy.
They should actually be able to put like those space shows on audio, because it's really, the visuals help your imagination, but there's no real visuals that are telling you anything on those space shows. It's always people talking about the concepts that really get the information across. So I don't know if there are any like the universe or how the universe works that's just the audio, but I bet you that
no. You can download the MP4 from YouTube. You download the video file and you put it into a audio editing file, and it just rips the audio off and you save it as an MP3.
Yeah. So if those are out there,
I've consumed scores of them. The problem is like, I know this is going to sound so arrogant and cocky. Space is simple. It's gravity. It's Newtonian physics. It gets a little bit difficult with the laws of relativity and space-time and quantum mechanics. That's where I start to lose it a little bit. But okay, gravity, mass attracts more mass. Okay, you get enough, you get a nuclear reaction, and then you got a sun, and if it gets too big, it falls on its own way. Maybe it forms a black hole and singulators. I get all that. And then a lot of it.
All that. Yeah.
No, I do. It's not that hard. I understand. I can even understand how tears in space-time fabric can occur and potentially lead to other parts of the universe. I can even begin to understand the Big Bang Theory, although I don't necessarily agree with it. I can understand it. But when they start talking about like this or that and this, there's been some new stuff discovered in the past 20 years. Like there's some things about Jupiter that they didn't know, or that they thought they knew was completely wrong. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. But then, the next, they always came out with these articles. A new planet's been found at a star system 100,000 light years away. And it's like, oh, did you do the oscillation thing where the planets warp?
Blocks the light.
Blocks the light, and that's like every fucking star system ever. Like this is the 100
Stop
million.
Stop ruining it for me, Clary.
But
I just learned about the kilonovas. Not the same. They always used to think that gold was created in a supernova, and after they did all their math, they concluded, well, there wasn't enough. It wouldn't work. And so then they did the math and observed a kilonova, I guess, and realized that they would be happening more often than we thought. And that's actually what creates gold in that reaction.
A supernova and a kilonova.
Kilonovas are two neutron stars colliding and then exploding. So it's
a supernova. It's just triggered by two stars.
Just a lot bigger. It's just a lot bigger, a lot more dense, a lot more neutrons. Because I guess, for these heavy elements, you need a lot of neutrons. So they just couldn't get that to work. And, supernovas work for carbon and iron and all those kind of lighter
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But the heavier ones need a much denser star.
So once again, I'm right. Gravity, two hugely dense masses of neutron stars.
It's just cool. It's cool thinking about how dense something can be.
And then there was a really, really big explosion. Yeah. That big explosion we talked about, the supernova? Yeah, it's bigger than that.
Stop ruining it for me.
It's the same physical principle. A lot, really, really big explosion. The explosion in Die Hard? It's like that one, but it's the bigger one in Die Hard too.
All right. So learning about space is the same as watching Deadliest Catch, where you watch them pull in the crab again and again and again, but still it's exciting to see that pot filled with crab.
There's something new in space. There's something new, novel to satiate the curious human mind. So I will occasionally drop in on the space thing, but after a while, it's just kind of like, okay. And then you get the guy who's like the aliens guy. He's like, I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. You know, with the bald guy.
Yeah, the ancient aliens guys.
Ancient alien, right? Did ancient Egyptians have the ability to fly? It could be. And I, no, I don't want to know. So then I go to history, and history is a lot more interesting. But even there, I'm actually starting to figure it out. Like, yeah, okay, we started with the not the Hittites, the Mesopotamians, and then you got the Egyptians and the Assyrians, and then the Greeks, then the Roman Empire and Corinthians, and then the medieval area, and then free for all, and the Muslims came and invaded here and there, and the Moors, and then the Enlightenment, and oh my God, bubonic plague, and hey, let's kill each other over Protestantism versus Catholicism. We're getting the fuck out of here. We heard there's some colonies across the Atlantic, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, history does not repeat, but it sure does rhyme, right? That's the whole thing you discover. Yeah.
Yep.
The same story over and over again. Yeah.
But I do find things interesting in history and all that. But yeah, when you start going out into the real world, it's like right now, after this, it's kind of like, all right, well, everyone's going to be asleep over on Central Standard Time. And it's like, oh, I could go. And I think I'm in Vegas, but I don't gamble. I don't drink. It's kind of like this.
Yeah. What are you doing there? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to play video games.
Scorpions. Yeah.
Well, no, those guys are hibernating. I don't even have my friends, the Scorpions, that hunt down. It's like Batman and the Joker. Like, you know, it's like the Joker, Batman went away. Did you ever see that episode, the cartoon Batman?
No.
1990s.
I liked that cartoon, but I must have missed that one.
It was great. There's one instance where Bruce Wayne decided to lure the Joker out, or he was playing some kind of 3-dimensional chess, and he just went missing. And people were speculating, where's Batman? And then the Joker goes into this huge depression because he has no one to fight against. And Harley Quinn comes in. Hey, Mr. J, you want to go rob a bank? And he's like, no, you go ahead. I'll just stay here. But yeah, it's kind of like, we got this, so I've been playing video games on Xbox 360 because the games are dirt cheap now.
Right.
And it's been so long since I've played some of them that I don't remember them. So it's like playing them for the first time again. But yeah, there's not you got, I'll tell you, I'm warning you guys now, if you ever get successful and you don't have kids, and I don't know how retired people do it. My God, I don't know how they do it. Right. But you got to keep your mind occupied. Like my grandma is 92. I don't know how she does it. I do not know how she does it, but she's like active and participating and playing cards and all that. The problem is she's got the benefit. There's all these old retired people who are looking for stuff to do. At my age, my God, you can't find a 30-something or a 40-something because they all got jobs or something like that. They're working or something. I don't know. All right, anything left in the super chat?
There was one, I believe. Or wait, two. Let's see. Rita Bradford for $5 says when affirmative action hires can't actually perform, they get a fake job. There's lots of, not even with affirmative action hires, there's a lot of fake jobs out there, I would say.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people don't want to fire people because it's too traumatic for the boss. So they'll pigeonhole people into like some worthless field or profession where they won't cause no damage, like HR. Oh, wait. And then they ruin the entire labor.
Keep them busy. Keep them over there. Make work. Yeah. And then Atham had a $2 donation. Thanks, Atham. Says, DT, that's what keeps me in this life. Curiosity. So,
yep.
And on point there.
Cool. All right. Well, let's call it a day.
Sounds good.
I'm sure you got to go to work tomorrow. If you guys want to help out with the podcast, you can always go ahead and share this podcast with other people. We're always trying to reach out to younger brothers and younger sisters out there and people who just like good conversation. So if you like the show, go ahead and share that on your Facebook or your social medias. If you'd also like to help out the website, the podcast financially, you could do 3 things. DT, what are those 3 things they can do?
To help out the
if they want to give me money, if they want to give me
if they want to give you money,
if they want to give me money,
Amazon affiliate.
Why is that the best way?
Because they get something, doesn't cost them any extra.
Doesn't cost them any extra.
You now, just if they wanted a commission.
Yeah. Now, if they wanted to piss away their money and get absolutely nothing in exchange except for warm fuzzies, what could they do?
Patreon.
They could go to Patreon, and then also, Patreon takes like 13%.
Right. PayPal, I guess.
PayPal. Yep. So they have a donation button as well. And you can all find that by going to olderbrother.com/donate. You'll see the 3 links, one to PayPal, one to Patreon, one to Amazon. The best way, if you really want to help out, do all your online shopping through that Amazon link. You just click on it and you just start shopping. That's it. That's all you have to do.
And you need to be on a computer.
Computer.
You need to actually be on a computer.
Yes, not the phone. But it's so much easier on. You know who the people are who say, but it's so much easier on the app?
The people that buy Gillette razors.
It's the same pussies who can't say, I'm not buying Gillette no more. Saying, well, the Starbucks is right there. Mm-hmm. But I like Apple. It's just so.
Target's better than Walmart.
Target's better than Walmart. It's cleaner. Anyway, yeah, so you can go ahead and do all the Amazon, all your online shopping through that Amazon link. And then if you want to donate, the links to PayPal and Patreon are there as well. I'm kind of curious. I wonder what we got for Patreon. Hang on. Patreon.com/Aaron Clary. Still have yet to get pinups there. What are we up to now? 117. We're still at $117 a month, which is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah,
DT,
breaking 100. Yeah, I'm here. We're breaking 100.
And then I do want to start throwing up more pinup girls. We had the original pinup model there. And then Jesse Price was kind enough to send a couple photos over. If you're a pretty girl, you want to send some pinups so I can get more money on my Patreon, give the guys something to look at, go ahead and email me over to Asshole Consulting. And then that'll be it. Anything on your end there, DT? Anything to plug?
I'm still not doing anything really. It's the happynihilist.net is still up. And you can find all my old podcasts at blackbrigade.org if you're interested in that. But nothing new yet. Good.
Well, you're just working and being a father. How dare you?
Yeah, it's all percolating. It's all compiling. It's all uploading in the back there. And
your kids are going to be out of the house in what, 8 years?
Yes. Yep, both of them.
I think we've known each other for about 8 years, haven't we?
It's close to that, I would say.
Yeah. They're going to be gone so quick, and then you're going to be like doing so many podcasts. You'll be like, hey, Claire, you want to go hike? Hey, you want to go fish? I'll be like, nah, I'm busy. I'm laying around here doing nothing, not cooking dinner for my wife because I don't do that. I'm going to clean the shower.
I mean, time does. It's totally true. Time speeds up as you get older. So you just got to make the best of what you got right now. And you won't regret it. You won't regret making the best of what you got right now.
No, I'm glad we had such a high note to leave off of here. Such a happy note. All right. Well, thank you for everybody listening. We'll have this uploaded. I'll probably go to the cigar lounge and upload this and get this done. DT, thank you very much for being on the show. Everybody, thank you for listening. Why don't you take us out the appropriate older brother Cappy Cap way there, DT?
The Cappy, not the Black Brigade way of dismissed, but
you could do that too. Yeah, but then how do we take everybody out otherwise?
I'll say dismissed and toodles.
Toodles.